All right, good people. After some technical difficulties, we are live and the comments are rolling in. I see them right now. We're going to make sure those comments tonight in our recap review show is going to get posted. We're going to discuss them. We're going to cover tonight's episode. We are live at 1 o'clock a.m. in the morning. I hate it. It hurts. But we love you all.
It's 1:30 at this point. Look.
It is.
We ain't gonna lie to y'all. Hey. Yes. It seems odd that we are already feeling like we talked for about 30 minutes. We did.
It is.
But we couldn't see our folks. We couldn't see the questions that you all had. That was highly important to us.
Yeah.
Because, man, without y'all, trust and believe, we would have recorded this review 3.5 weeks ago. Okay.
Anyway, folks, we're going to start this off. We're going to kick this off right. So welcome to Big Old Belt Media review recap show of episode 10 of season 3 of Power Book 2 Ghost. Let's get started, folks. Yeah. What's going on? It is Lucas and Nigeria, and we are here for episode 10, the season finale of season 3 of Power Book 2. This episode is titled Divided We Stand. Folks, we starting this one over because we had a little bit of a technical issue, but we are live tonight here. So thank you everybody who's with us, all the real ones who did watch the official episode, who didn't watch the leaks. And even if you did, it doesn't matter. You're here with us tonight. And we're starting it off with our first comment tonight from our guy, Toxic Key, always showing love each and every week. We literally miss Kate Green camera. I mean, yeah.
Hey, look, it's plenty of people who steal Amazon boxes that miss people's ring cameras. Like, so I'm not even going to accountable for that. It happens. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
But amazingly, it still happens.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these comments here. Definitely, we appreciate the super chats. You get those super chats in, we'll make sure we get those read priority. But we love all you all, so we want to make sure your comments, the best comments tonight, get read on the show. And as I said, we had a little bit of a technical issue, but we got it fixed. As you can see, Toxic Key coming through with the love. And Toxic Key, if you can, please, what was that other comment? You already super chatted a previous comment. Can you please get us that other comment that you have? I want to make sure that gets read in all due respect for you showing the love tonight. But we got some other folks
Rhino am I saying the name right? Rhino Love say I watched the leaks, but I'm here. Hey,
yeah. Hey, can you post that? I just want to make sure. Do you have access to make it?
Look here. I am not as technically sound as you.
It's all good. I got you. Let's go.
I am talent. Damn it.
Hey, Trisha, and let's go. First comment of the night, stepping in after we had to jump from video to videos. All love. Rhino love here.
There you go.
Monet literally really loves Tariq. We've been saying it all season. Glad that
Josh
showed up to the party.
Child.
Clearly,
like Tariq is now her favorite child. Like
clearly,
all the rest of them trying to kill her.
And I don't care what you have to say about the end. Tariq is still her favorite. I cannot believe y'all alive. I can't believe her. I can't believe it either, David. We are live, but we say we want to do it, so that's why we're here. Effie got to go. I think for the first time in 3 seasons of Power Book 2 Ghost, that I'm gonna have to agree it may be time for Effie to go, which is going to be something.
How y'all hate on Effie after Tariq? Y'all do remember Tariq drove her to the river and left her there and told her to walk home, right?
He can be. Listen, there's nothing wrong here. There's nothing wrong with being salty every once in a while. How many times has that happened to him all forever?
Yeah, and that's why Effie, he did it one time to Effie, and Effie told Noma everything.
Yeah,
like, you lost your damn mind.
Tate survived another season, damn right, because he should have his own show at this rate. But I'm not even going to give y'all that time today. And we're back. Gemini Don says, "Yep, we are back, and we are live tonight here." Get ready to jump into episode 10, the season finale of season 3. They better not kill Tate. Yes, I'm also going to continue to say Tate should have his own show. I'm going to even predict that an announcement get made happen very soon. We do know that Ghost. We do know that Force is returning for season 2 in September. That is a huge little gap there. I'm not saying another show is ready, but I'm going to assume there may, the writer strike is definitely a thing happening, which should definitely be really really critical for the
What's
for the
going to
progress
happen
of
moving
future
forward?
shows.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I still think by design, there's a reason why that this show was pushed back to September and not this. I mean, what else do they got here? I mean, they got Outlander coming back, they got Heels coming back.
they got
But
Run the
like that's
World.
Run the
That's
World, right. That's
I
premiering
think.
tonight. But that's September's
Yeah,
a
no,
long
not to be
time, dude.
disrespectful, Power. I mean, not to be disrespectful, Stars. We
Yeah.
did review the first season, but our other team is covering the second season of it.
Yeah.
But like for the Power universe, for that gap of time, you kind of wonder, is it to set up something else? We do know they're currently shooting the next
Yeah.
season of Ghosts right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that has not been shut
Kanan's
down by
done.
the writer's strike. So
Yeah.
that's already done. Kane is already done. You're kind of wondering here, what's the reason for September 1st? And that's
Right.
the date, September 1 launch date.
Something in
Before
September. It just makes sense that there should be an announcement for more spinoffs or something in the Power universe of some sort. You know, I'm
I
curious
mean,
to
we
see
still
what's
waiting for
going to
Yaz's Power book. Now,
well,
now we know she's in Woodsack, and as somebody posted, New York has the worst Woodsack humanly possible. Yeah, because everybody knows where you are.
you know what? You don't have to reference somebody say. You know, I can just post it. Anyway, let me. I'm gonna get some more comments here,
Can't
sir.
remember.
Get some more
Okay, I
comments
couldn't
here.
remember a
Yeah.
person.
So all
My
this
bad.
IT stuff I've been doing, you just sitting here like, oh yeah, I would just read a comment like that. But
Right.
shout out
right.
to my guy, as you see right here, because I had to let the comments sit here for a while. Just my opinion reviews. P. Avery, another hardworking YouTuber, content creator, film critic, doing what he does. Make sure y'all show him some love. Step over to his channel right now and to see my man. He probably working right now, knowing him, man. One of the hardest working dudes out there. Yeah, I mean the New York City right now, and honestly, like New York, and that's probably Jersey where they were at. But either way, it's all bad. It's all bad when it comes down to law
How do you
enforcement.
get in Woodsack, right? How does Tasha get in Woodsack? And they moved her down the block from where she was at.
I mean,
what happened
coming
to
back
Arizona? Like,
coming
what happened somewhere else?
Coming back with Toxic Key here with another super chat here. Tariq tried to put Monet on his shirt a couple of times. Damn sure did, and we'll talk all about it. Let's get into tonight's show. Let's start to
Diana.
let's start to
Diana
get
tried
into,
to put Monet on the shirt a couple times.
Let's start to get into some of the events of tonight's episode here. Starting off in the beginning. And folks, yes, if you was with us earlier, you know we had a technical issue, but we're back. So in case this sounds like you may be having a little bit of deja vu, you probably are. It's okay. But we got to do what we do best, and that's make sure we thoroughly get out each and every part of the episode. Start off in the beginning is the self-reflection of all of our characters. We seeing everybody either looking into the mirror, looking into puddles, everybody kind of realizing the state of where they're at right now. Going to you, Lucas, here. What is your thoughts about the opening moments of this episode as we see all of our characters, Effie, Tariq, Lauren, Monet, Diana, everybody having a moment of self-reflection? What is your thoughts about this moment?
This is highly important for the season, for them to have that. Episode 9 was extremely explosive. We saw everything that happened in episode 9, and you kind of wonder where we're going forward with these characters. So this is a moment where they all have to look back and say, okay, I know I lived through X, Y, and Z, but where does that put me at? Where's my mindset going into this final stretch here? And this is a stretch where everyone's confused on what the next step is. I think that's the highly important part of it. Like everybody is confused on what's my next step here. We see Brayden. We understand he's confused after everything with his uncle. What's his next step he's going to take? The kids, Diana, Drew, Kane, after finding out everything that happened and the reaction to everything that happened with Poppy, what is going to be next for them? Again, that's the whole point of this. We clearly understand what Effie's thing is, what's next after jail or what's next in jail. Like, I don't even know how she ended up in the same jail that Tasha was in, clearly, because I'd be damned if that ain't the same person who was fucking with Tasha when she was in jail. Oh man, like it was needed because at this point we get the reset. So they treated episode 10 like a reset more than the season finale. And that doesn't happen too often in shows of this nature. But when it does happen, it kind of tells you the last episode is going to be extremely explosive, because then if you treat it like a reset, you have so much stuff you got to go over all over
Yeah.
again to explain and put these characters in peril in one way or the other. And that's what we
Yeah.
did. And they did it over again. They did it over a Drake song. I don't know how much it costs, but clearly Power has decided that not only are they spending money on a clothing budget, but they're going to clearly spend money on the music budget, because you ain't clearing a Drake song for anything for under $1 million here.
Yeah. Yeah, being better, this is definitely a season premiere in the beginning. You're like,
Yep.
all right, we're having a moment of kind of realizing and honestly, you think about season 4. I mean, it's a great start to season 4. If you use the same opening moment of saying like everybody and what is their current state of everything that has happened in the conclusion of season 3. But in this case, it's still after an explosive finale. Should I say almost a finale in the conclusion of episode 9? You're kind of saying like, now what's next for everybody? So yeah, you're entirely right here. I'm going to lean on you heavy on your thoughts, as I will make sure I get everybody in the chat going crazy tonight. Y'all the real ones, for real, because this episode leaked, and I was a little worried that some of you all weren't as real as I thought you were, because y'all were happy y'all were getting a little piece of that early pie. So I thought y'all weren't going to show up tonight, but damn, was I wrong. And y'all showed out, and y'all going crazy right now. Let me get a couple of chats in there really fast, because y'all are hey, it's a big live. Let's go all day finesse 2 times. Hey y'all, like I said, 2 times. Yeah, I saw a couple of folks definitely saying that they are surprised that Force is coming back with such a huge gap. Me too, man. And this one too. I'm mad they put Force before Kanan. I think right now,
because technically we've already gotten 2 seasons of Kanan.
Right. And I mean,
so at that
and
point,
it's not
they gotta have Force catch up.
It's not unfamiliar because they brought back the season 3 of Ghost faster than I thought, but I think the writer's strike does have a lot to do with the scheduling, and I think there's definitely something with Force being pushed to September, because I know ratings a big thing, and I know they know these shows bring in a lot of big ratings, but to hold it back that big is an interesting tactic. You damn right, B. Avery's in the building. You damn right. I did hear this too, and we talked about this rumor of a London spinoff could be in the works. I would love to kind of see the base of that, but I think that I'm still hoping and pulling for them doing something for Take. What's up, Ebony? We watched the leak and we still want the reviews too. Well, we got you. We got you. You ain't got to worry about that. Let's get back to the show really quick. We got Braden and Tariq in the hospital. We did, again, if you feel like you're having a moment of deja vu, it's not you, it's us. We got Braden alongside of Tariq, who Tariq is just waking up after being knocked across the head by Tasha, with him pointing the gun at Tommy pointing the gun at him. But nonetheless, it's his brother Braden there. Tariq is aiming for Tommy because Tommy has now taken his mother. He needs to find his mother. All roads is leading to him trying to rescue his mother. But at the same time, he knows that he needs to knock Tommy off, and he also needs to knock off Monet, because it's Monet's fault that Tommy knew where Tasha was at. Braden dealing with losing his uncle, as he kind of like, hey, how you dealing with that? And nonetheless, Braden passing a strap to Tariq so Tariq can do some gangster stuff, I guess, whatever. But nonetheless, this is a telling moment, because after last week's episode where we had this really strong moment between these two, this only shows you the significance and this camaraderie with the two of them. They're brothers despite the heated argument they had. And Braden's right by his bedside when it seems like who would be by Tariq's side with everything that happened. What's your thoughts really quickly on this, since you already expressed it before?
That this is an important scene between these two. We have to see that their bond wasn't broken after everything that happened over the last 2 episodes. Last 2 episodes put a lot of strain on their relationship, and if it was anyone else in the Power universe, you would assume that they wouldn't be close anymore. But here again, Tariq is down. The first person he sees when he gets up is Braden, and that's for a reason here. Because in the end, Braden, no matter what, still has Tariq's back. Even when he's mad at Tariq, he's still going to have Tariq's back at the end. So this was just to show that brotherly connection between them two wasn't broken.
Yeah.
And it's highly important, again, because by the end of the last episode, as I pointed out, and some of you all jumped on me for saying it, when I kept on saying Brayden was holding Tariq accountable, and everyone said, why is Brayden holding him accountable? No, he's not holding Tariq accountable. He has no reason because he's white to hold Tariq. It was everything humanly possible.
Wow.
Why Brayden shouldn't hold
Wow.
someone who he sees as his brother accountable. And yet and still, this proves that it didn't affect their relationship. Like,
Yeah.
people love truth from people that you trust.
Yeah.
And Brayden last episode gave Tariq a hard truth, but yet and still, when Tariq is down and needs help, Brayden's going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, we had our differences about last week's episode, but I think the one that we can firmly agree on, as you mentioned, is that they're brothers, no matter what. And that's a theme that we see the two of them actors in real life really do in their day to day. And I think at a point now, we almost kind of merged their personal lives with the show. So to me, it was the inevitable that Brayden was going to be there for him because it's just what they do. They'll have their moments, but when it comes down to the hard times, they're there for one another. And Tariq has, let it be known, Tariq has shown up for Brayden a very lot in this season in the moments where Brayden felt like he didn't have anybody in his corner. So it was really dope to kind of see that come full circle here. Again, folks, we got a ton of chats here. We'll make sure we get to them. By all means, if you hit us in the super chats, we will make sure those get read priority. And plus, we appreciate it as you help us keep the lights on here tonight as we are here live with you all for our recap review show of episode 10, the season finale of season 3. Now, going to a moment that I did not think we were going to get. Monet meet with Noma and Obi. What you got, sir? You said, look, you talk about this?
No. Yes. Because why you at this point, I've learned never to doubt that Monet can pull a move out of things that I just would not expect to ever happen.
Okay, so
this
hold on.
Definitely one of them.
Yeah, but see, listen, the reason why I didn't think we were going to have this moment is because I was drinking your Kool-Aid here. And I think you were entirely right here, and I think you all should definitely chime in the comments with this. I criticized this season for saying our big baddie was Noma. We didn't get Noma at all. 3 episodes, maybe at max. And the fact that we established Noma as a villain for seasons to come goes back to old school power.
Hey.
I'm digging this. And so I thought the collision of the powers, the foes here, wouldn't be something that would just be given to us so prematurely. However, I think this is like it's really good storytelling here because now that we see Monet in peril for her life later on in the season, I think that eventual rendezvous with the two of them again is just going to be so much more meaningful. And now that they've been introduced to each other, there could actually be a little bit more strategic being discussed in their next reoccurrence. So I think that's going to be interesting. But nonetheless, Monet meets with Noma and Obi as they're talking about the product. Obi not telling Noma some things, and they had a look, and because of everything that's happening here, like, you know, obviously Noma's in the situation of not having anybody to move the product. Monet doesn't have her kids, so Obi's kind of critical of that. And with that too, you know, Obi steps up and says, like, listen, man, you got some empty promises here. You don't have your kids, and they don't want anything to do with you. How can you, by any means, go convince us of the things you want to do without that support? And then Noma comes in with a very shocking, shall I say, statement in terms of him saying, before we can even establish this working relationship here, I need answers about my fiance Mecca. I just want to throw out one thing and then I'm gonna give it to you. But did you ever think that Noma was ever truly in love with Mecca, or was that just the ploy for her to step on American soil and figure out her operation?
I swore that's just a ploy for her to enter into this world. Because keep in mind, when we first see Noma, when it pertains to Mecca, she brings up the ring that we know Mecca attempted to give Monet. So you're kind of thrown off like, wait a minute, when is it going to be? But she understood that Monet and Mecca had a past and had a child together. But is it that she just didn't fully understand that Mecca's true feelings and true love was Monet, and it wasn't her? Because you kind of, as somebody put, I keep on saying, as somebody put, listen here, okay, comments go by fast. Keep on messing up here. But someone placed in the comments that what's going to happen when Monet finds out, when Noma finds out that Monet killed Mecca, and would she hold her accountable for it and try to kill her for it? I would say no, because she would also understand that Mecca was in love with Monet. Monet is holding a big secret. If she tells Noma, like, he tried to give me that ring and propose marriage to me, he didn't even bring you up. I didn't even know you existed. Like, that's a whole another wrinkle that's laid out there for this future relationship between Noma and Monet. But here, this conversation between the two, her asking that as a poignant question, like, before we even get into business, I need to know what happened with Mecca. That's a heck of a thing to say, because you wouldn't expect that to be the first question about business. How about, how are you going to rule everything? What happens when you used to rule everything? What happened? What about your husband and what happened to him? Like, what? I would think it would be countless other things, but this shows, and I don't mean to offend anybody, this shows the emotion of women, that the first question would be, did you kill my fiance? Nothing else mattered to her, but did you kill my fiance?
Yeah, I mean, I love this comment here by Monica. I don't think Noma was Mecca's fiance. I think Noma does what Mecca did. I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense for her to come in and step on American soil and to try to, really pull this operation of what Mecca was doing from underneath them. And when I say them, I'm talking about, Mecca was somebody's CI. So like understanding like what was going on there and how they could infiltrate. I mean, Noma's obviously from overseas. Who could she be working with? What organization, and I think it makes sense. And the Juice with an amazing comment here, really listing them out here. But villains like Lobos, Milan, Sal, Markovich. Noma, I think so. And I think we haven't really had a villain like this in a while, where their assertiveness of each and every episode wasn't there, and I think that, I guess I forgot what the old school power was kind of like for a while, because we had been used to folks appearing, being a threat, and then immediately being erased, and then on to the next, so or flipping, because Monet was kind of a bad guy for a while, then became good, and but I'm very excited to see the development of this character Noma.
Because think about it this way: is Noma a villain? What makes her a villain?
Right, she's a boss. She's a force, shall I say?
Yeah, exactly. She's a boss, but is she a villain? Because even moving forward, we kind of see who we would pinpoint as the villains for the next season, and it ain't Noma.
That's true. That's true.
It's D&D. Like those would be the villains for next season.
Yeah. Let's now going to the next scene.
Monet's two least favorite children now.
Yeah. We got Tariq going to see good old Kate. We knew this was going to be interesting. And Tariq is showing up at Kate's door looking to kill Tommy. And Kate, first of all, tries to swerve and say, well, Tommy's dead. But anywho, Tariq wasn't just going to easily be thrown off by that. He wants to come in and inspect things. And Kate, being Kate, who is within our top 3 worst moms in all of power, as she asks and very overly stereotypes Tariq and asking him, well, what are you drinking? Do you want some Henny? Tariq doesn't drink. Then she immediately goes from Henny to juice box. I mean, just the disrespect here. And you're entirely right here with this comment. Kate is always entertaining. Absolutely. Hey. This is a character that we need for many, 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 many more seasons to just pop up and give us some comedy. Tariq emphasized that he's not the same kid that she remembers when he was young. Now Kate starts to fill him in about Monet coming to the house, and how Monet did leave the letter from Saks, and how she took that letter, gave it to Tommy, And that's connecting. And we know what happened later, but this is connecting and establishing Tariq's theory about how Monet was able to find Monet was able to find Tommy, and Tommy was able to find Tasha and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything to say there, but if you got something, let me know.
It's one thing to say here, and it's a theme that's been going on through this season about family and relationships and parental relationships. One of the first things Kate says when Tariq is going off is like, "You were like a grandson to me," and that's because, as it's always been pointed out, Kate's real son is Ghost, because that's the one that she loved. So you just couldn't imagine her thoughts with Tariq. And that's the way she carried it here with him. Like, your father was like my child. Like, you're like a grandson to me. Like, why would I lie to you? Because you're Kate. Kate, you lie to everybody. But like it really I think that was a real small but touching moment right there when she says that to him, that you're like a grandson to me.
I mean, and obviously everybody looks at Kate as just this off the rails character. And while she may not be a good mom, and maybe she has a very interesting relationship with Tommy, she is family. And I think while this is a hilarious statement here, it's absolutely true. It's nothing far-fetched about this statement at all. And just in case you all aren't looking at it, it reads, "I raised your father. My son is a drug lord. His father was a made man. I have pictures of you in diapers." I mean, it's just what it is. She's laying out her reality, and I think Tariq, who has avoided his reality for a long time, is just only being put back into perspective of like, this is your life. I also think another thing too, let me make sure I can find this comment real quick. How did they know Tommy was alive in his mom's address? They didn't. And maybe they did, but maybe they didn't. But I think going off on the limb would for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's enough speculation in terms of like Tommy being alive. And I mean, if you want to really speculate, I mean, let's not forget who showed up at the end of Force. So there's could be some speculation. There could be some conversations amongst everybody. I think we're going to get answers to that come Force. And I think that's what's going to be key to see where does Force pick up, which seems to be running a very dual timeline with Ghost, which means the effects of Ghost could be seen on Force and vice versa. But it's interesting for them to tie this in a way, but and still be able to provide us excitement for the two shows. Because now you're thinking about in September, like as I mentioned last week, will Tasha appear in Force? What does that look like? Does Blanca, what would be her involvement with Force? Does she bring Jenny? Also, let's not forget about what happened at the end with Junior. Will Junior have something to do with Force? That USB drive gonna have something. We're gonna talk about it, but I think it's cool. I think it's cool to have those little Easter egg moments to kind of say, like, I wonder what that's gonna end up resulting.
And then Kate, I mean, they would know Kate's address because Ghost left Kate money. I think that's how Kate possibly bought the houses, because of the money Ghost left her.
Yeah.
Like even Ghost treated her like a mom. That she was in his will.
Yeah.
Like, that says a lot about his relationship with Kate.
Yeah. So no more Monet again. And they're putting the family stuff together. Everyone's trying to figure out everything. And we even have a small condolences and sorry for your lost moment. And Monet letting her know that I will kill to protect my family. Mecca kept you a secret, and also your son and Zeke. And it's just two bosses having a moment of figuring each other out, but realizing and exposing how much they know about each other. Noma is in need of control, and Obi is given a slice across his eye as a reminder of loyalty, as he clearly was stalling for Tariq, as we know later on here. So we just see things coming into fold. I'm glad we're getting Obi more. I was a little bit worried that Obi's about to get killed off right there, but I like Obi, man.
Obi getting soft. Like if it's all it took was green cards, and he's willing to portray Noma that fast for green cards. Come on, man.
Let me tell you something real quick. There's a movie that's done 10 of them. And the whole theme of that movie is one word: family. And you damn right, Obi got soft for his family. He was gonna make sure that they got those green cards, and by any means, as long as they good, he was gonna have to play the part. Now it is gonna be interesting to see if what does that mean for his family getting those green cards, and does now that that's been procured, does he
How
turn
you
up
going to
after
get that
this?
pass? How do you get that pass, Noma, that you got those green cards? That you've been
She,
waiting for her to get you? You think she ain't going to put 2 and 2 together and kill
yeah,
your kids and
he
kill
got
your family?
yeah, got those green cards, so he set. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to kind of see where that goes from there, man. I'm interested.
Again, green cards aren't easy to come by.
Power.
And I'm still confused how Tariq got green cards, but they're
Tate.
not easy to come by. And
Tate.
how did Tate get green card? Tate is a senator. Like he's not even someone who would have the power to get green cards. So
You
the point that
love
they
giving them fuel to the fire, man. Now you're gonna have them
the,
for like 20 minutes trying to figure it out, or either debunking your whole statement. So
hey, don't if it's one thing they're not going to be able to debunk is Tate getting green cards.
and see,
But
like,
you wonder about Obi's family again. Are they going to be safe because he has to use those green cards? Once he does, you don't think Noma will go back and backtrack how he got those green cards?
right, and that's obviously a part of the story we are to come, is to see, does Obi allegiance change? Why he thinks he's doing something under her back. How resourceful is she? And if Mecca was her guy and she knew all of the resources Mecca had, because nothing was sliding under Mecca's nose. You know what I mean? Let's not forget how calculated Mecca was. And if she and Mecca were doing an operation, she has to have those same type of resources, or even better. So for Obi to think that maybe everything is all good, we're going to kind of see how this plays out. So it's going to be interesting here. Again, folks, let us get in the comments. Get those comments coming in. If you do have those super chats, we will make sure those get read priority. We appreciate everybody in the love tonight.
My man Juice said power is real good when you don't ask questions. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We just call it power logic. Like, it is what it is. Some things you just don't ask questions about, because clearly it will throw you off. But when you go to green card route, I'm going to have questions. Like, I'm going to have questions, because that's a hell of a move to pull. Tariq can get you anything you need, Joe.
Yeah. TSG, Tasha won't appear in Force Season 2. Well, why not?
We agree. We agree with that. I'm 100% in agreement with that. I said it last episode when you brought it up. I don't think she's going to continue in Force. That's not the purpose of her.
I don't. So I saw a comment last week, or I don't know, was it Twitter or something? Somebody reached out and said, does Tasha step in a role of oh my god, why was her name slipping out of her mouth? That died. That was like Tommy's like right hand girl before why they built the relationship
with her.
Huh?
Like, that was different. I don't think that's the goal of Tasha. Clearly her goal was to kill Monet. That's all she wanted.
Right. But hold on. Let me get my theory off real quick. First of all, I see y'all trying to like this one. I get that, but don't forget that this show is done. So don't forget. That's why I say she could appear in that. We know she's currently pregnant. We know everything that's happening with her right now, but she's not about to film right now for a show in September. The filming is done, just like the filming is done for Kanan. I'm saying, like, it's a possibility that she could show it. Liliana, thank you. Could Tasha be stepping in a role like Liliana to help keep Tommy straight? Let's not forget that Tommy's an emotional person, and he has once again suffered tremendous loss. We see how emotional he was in seeing Tasha. He talked so much about family. The two of them established that they are family. And would Tommy need to lean on Tasha to help him refocus back in Chicago? Could we see Tasha, who's on the run, by the way, who also is on the run, Tommy, could we see her show up there just to help him establish and go for it? I think
Tasha on the run?
Yes.
She can always go back to Woodsack. She did nothing wrong.
Or
she was kidnapped.
Or she could just be on a run and not have to be in that situation. No, I don't think she desires to be in Woodsack.
But do you think that she would leave her daughter just in Woodsack?
You
I
know,
don't think
it
so.
could be a measure of safety for her. I don't know. I just think that like I think there could be a means for her showing up that could be like it could be ratings driven, seeing her show up. Tommy showing up on Ghost is a big deal. I think Tasha showing up on Force is a big deal too, because I also think it also provides other crossover opportunities. You know, what do you mean? What about Yaz? We
Thank you.
always are
Thank
about
you.
Yaz.
Say it
We
again. Say it
always
again.
we got Yaz. If anybody got Yaz, we got Yaz. Just know that. What you mean?
Hey,
Tasha
hey, I about
says
to say, yeah, she said she's going back with you as a Big Mama. Not only that, Big Mama just got out of rehab. How y'all gonna take Big Mama out of rehab and then throw her with a child all over again? Big Mama gonna start drinking again. She gonna start beating your ass again. She
I'm
ain't
just
prepared for this yet.
I'm just
Big Mama
confused
not
how
about that parent life right now.
I'm just confused how we just know where they're at. That it's just the wildest thing how we know where they're at. Also, I think it's very interesting that Tariq also mentioned to Lauren, like, yeah, you'll just end up in Arizona as a cashier. It's like, oh, okay. Or
Everybody
did he
ends
say
up in
Arizona? He's
Arizona.
just I don't know.
Yeah,
I was
he
like, yeah,
did.
it's
I
like
think he did say
like,
Arizona as a cashier. Everybody ends up in Arizona real
everybody is
fast.
up in Arizona.
Hey, it's like
Yeah,
you go to Arizona and just get lost. Like no one
yeah,
goes there.
yeah.
Tempe, you couldn't even point Tempe out on a map to most people. They'd be like, "What? Tempe, Arizona? Like what's there?" A bunch of
Listen,
Woodsack cashiers.
y'all damn, y'all damn right. What about the Yaz spinoff in the works? You heard it
Hey,
here first.
look here.
In the works.
Hey,
It's in the
hey,
works.
look. That's all we need. That's the power spinoff we
Yeah.
literally have been asking for.
I can't even read this comment. It's crazy. Anyway,
Hey,
let's
yep. Give it about another 4 or 5 years. Yeah, it's gonna be like 18, and she gonna be like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm my
yep,
father's daughter. And
yep,
she takes over everything.
yep. One day she's just gonna wake up and says, I'm Ghost. And y'all already think Ghost is still alive. So God Lee, wouldn't that be something?
When it's not that we think Ghost is alive. It was kind of proven at this point. Star
That's how
States Ghost is alive
That's
at a
actually
price.
that's actually a really interesting tidbit. Like, yeah, I mean, I already said if the price was right, they will always do something in power logic to bring them back. But anyway, let's get through a lot of the show. We got a lot more to go. We got the Rico crew putting the case together and how they're going to use Effie, and Effie is going to be the one to connect Tariq to the Tejadas. Lauren is being taught and prepped for the grand jury hearing. And Lauren wants to know how Sack's death is related to all of this.
Yeah.
Was it Tariq? Jenny comes in very confidently, like, of course it was, but then Blanca was like, well, that's still kind of being determined. And then they tried to like spin this around saying we're getting justice for you. We have Obi and Monet as Monet comes in and tells everybody she's the new boss. And Obi co-signs and says if you answer to Noma, you answer to Monet. Of course, all of the Tejadas are just like hell nah, whatever. But you know, as much as I like disagreed with this scene, because I was kind of like, what
Love this
the,
scene.
but like it's whatever, you know what I mean? I definitely did love how Drew was like, hell nah, hell nah. That's what I was thinking, like, hell nah. How the fuck she finessed herself into a boss position? But you know, that's just what it is, man. I think what I was trying to say earlier is with Monet and Noma, I think that while there is a measure of like this being personal, we know one thing that's more important than that, and that's business. And with the money that they can bring and work together, that's all that matters. And I think that Noma respects Monet. Let's not forget that Monet is a very strongly written character. And I think that while we feel about that as a character, I think from character to character, I think Noma realizes that Monet has something she can leverage off of, and obviously whatever Noma's true intentions are in being in the States. And when I said being in the States, I mean like even part-time. I think she's a good asset for her for the moment she needs to be there, because Noma's doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's not forget Noma just showed up out of the country as well at any given time too. Yeah, Obi spying wherever she needs. So we'll see how resourceful Monet is for Noma, but also how resourceful Noma is for Monet, which should be something going forward. But anyway, we get Monet and Tariq as Monet says we need to talk. And Monet is like, why are you telling my kids you killed Lorenzo? And at the moment, I mean, like, this is still her underestimating them. which is interesting because it went from underestimating Kane and Diana to now all of them, even Drew, knowing that the three of them could probably put it together. They were all in the same room together, but for whatever reason, she did not put that on the table at all as a possibility. But whatever, puts a gun to his head and says, "Keep your bitches in order." Tariq tries to go after her, but Obi stops her. And Obi then shows Tariq the slicing of the face for stalling Noma. And then he said it'll be beneficial for us if you were back in Noma's good graces. Monet gets in the car, calls Diana and asks is Tariq a snitch or not. Anything you want to add there?
Nothing at all. Except for it was highly funny that Tariq thought killing Monet there would solve his problem.
It's like, Tariq.
He's but no, I'm only bringing that up is because again, Tariq's always like he always has a plan. He always is trying to figure things out. And this episode is him driving fully off of emotions here, which we never see Tariq do. He always thinks about his actions first. And this is one of the first episodes we see where all of that just went out the window immediately. And he just is driven like, okay, I got to save my mom. And nothing else matters. Because, like, if you killed Monet, all Noma would do would be is kill you and find your mother and kill your mother. Yeah. Like, it would set you up for failure here, but he's just not seeing the forest before the trees in this scene. I think that's important for the rest of this episode of just Tariq's mindset and where it leads him down this episode.
Here's the best comment of the night right here. Thank you, Neon.
Okay.
You damn right. You damn right.
Look, that's all it takes. I mean, first she got to get it back because Tariq lost it to white people. So now, has to get it back.
What if they call it Power Book 6, The Queen's Child Project? And we hear Ghost. We hear Ghost with they cut the trailer and Ghost with a monologue saying the Queen's Child Project was always you, Jazz. Yes, it was always you. And we just see her slowly putting on a blazer, looking up at the building.
Exactly. And the voiceover, well, before it's all you, Yaz, it would start off about him talking about why he started the Queen's Child. I did this for my father and all this other stuff. And you slowly see somebody walking up with heels on and like, who the hell is that? And it's all about my family and a legacy that I leave. And then you see Yaz put on a coat and then they say, this is a big, rich town. Hey, we done gave y'all the opening of what this power book should look like for Yaz's power book, man. Y'all can't let this one drop. Yep. Lisa Marie's gonna be her lawyer.
Yep. They need to stop playing. They need to get that done. They need to get that done right now.
And they're gonna be hunted down by Junior. Yeah, because Junior's gonna know they have to be dirty.
Yep.
I mean, that's Jamie's daughter. What would you expect? The explosiveness that you get out of every dirty cop off of power. Yeah. Look, we done gave y'all the perfect power book here. You can't beat this one, Joe. The QCP. There you go. And we haven't seen Stern in a minute.
Yeah, Stern would cut a deal with anybody with the last name St. Patrick, so you ain't got to worry about that.
You're right. Cash will come back. He will be Yaz's muscle. Hey, man, we got voiceovers and everything for this power book setup, Joe.
Yeah, right. So that. Could you imagine?
Our moms was best friends, Jazz. I remember, they gonna have a little bit of a love story there too. Like I remember, when we were younger, we would play, and I always admired you in your mind. Yeah.
They're gonna start the voiceover, so we ain't gonna have power for about a year. Then we're gonna get this cryptid trailer. We're just gonna hear Ghost just yelling at Tariq of all the things that Tariq fucked up on. Tariq is dead at this point. And then it slowly converts to him saying, but you were really my true legacy. And the Queen's Child Project was truly for you. And we just see her walking up with the heels that do the slow scale. Then she puts on the blazer. We see truth in one direction. And in the other direction, the big building, and it says QCP up top. And it just says Power Book 6, the Queen's Child Project. And Yaz turns around and says, Now I'm the real ghost, and that's just it.
Exactly.
We good. We good for like 10 seasons, right?
Oh shit! Hey, hold up, did you just give your ass 10 seasons? the longest running power book is
Damn
Jazz's
right.
power book.
Damn right. Anyway, Tommy sits up, sets up. Tommy cuts off Tariq and says,
Yeah.
"Hey man, don't do nothing stupid." As we saw Tariq trying to follow Monet, and he says, "Quit popping off, and I'll tell you where your mom's at." And this is where the two of them goes over everything that's happened in the previous episode, but also talking about what could be done going forward. He said, "Listen, we hashed it out. Thank God your mom knocked you out, confirming that it was Tasha that knocked out Tariq last episode." So now we're replaying the final scene from episode 9. And this is Tasha talking about, saving Tommy's life. Tommy talk about family, turning into an uncle. And not only just that, he turned into Uncle Tommy, helping Tariq. And he was telling him like, hey, you had to drop on me, and then I lost too much family. Let's dead this. He asked about Keisha, and then Tasha talks about why she killed Lakeisha. And then she talked about saving his life again. And like Lakeisha was a rat. And then he said this blood for you needs to end. Say I love you. You're my day one. And just like you never left. A lot of just consoling in one another. They said and Tommy's catching her up about everything that's happening in Force, talking about, hey, I have family, I have a half brother, I have an uncle, and so on. So what did you think about the two of them in the moment that they shared, man, in terms of just like catching up and whatnot? I just want to quickly say that like I thought it was kind of cheesy, but I think it was supposed to be cheesy because I think there was a little level of like uncomfortability with the two of them. I think like if you've ever like beef with somebody that you really shouldn't have been beefing with, and then the moment y'all squash it, things get like kind of like weird for like 10-15 minutes, and then eventually it just smooths over. That's what I felt with the two of them, where they realized like, why the fuck are we beefing? Like, we're family. Like, this makes no sense. And Tommy, the whole theme of Force is about him dealing with being alone, losing everybody around him. And now he realized like Tasha is his day one. She's been there since the beginning. And you're getting ready to kill another person just so you can alienate yourself again about being alone. So it didn't make any sense. And Tasha's kind of like, sir, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, we're day ones, but I just think that I thought that like why it was like a weird scene. I thought they actually handled it exactly how it should have been. But what is your thoughts?
Exactly that way, because we got to keep in mind this is the first conversation between these two since Tasha killed Lakeisha. Like, and Tommy was in love. That was the love of his life. And he saw his sister kill a love. He knew his sister killed the love of his life. I think that's where all the emotion comes from. That's where the cheesiness comes from here, because this is the first conversation had. So this is just them working out everything and then coming to the conclusion like, hey, I did this to save you. Like, I'm not killing my best friend for no reason, but I killed my best friend to save my brother. And then it's just about catching up with one another. Like, hey, I got a brother, I got a nephew, and XYZ is going on here. And I think this is why you would think that it's a possibly a carryover that could happen with Tasha on Force. But I think this is just more of not necessarily a closing out of these two characters ever meeting up again, but just a rehashing of that past relationship. Not saying that she needs to come on Force, because I don't think that's going to happen. I literally think this is just going to combine them two to come more on Ghost than her go to Force. And this was important because you established that they are family once again. Like, in other words, he has her back once again. And in turn, if he has her back, he has Tariq's back. And that's the most important thing right here is once you reestablish that family atmosphere between them, you're going to reestablish that Tommy's going to make sure in the end, Tariq is protected no matter what he has to do.
Yeah, which is exactly why I said Uncle Tommy is back. And I know folks are like, Tommy's back, like, sure, but like, and here's an amazing comment, because I think this is a good depiction of let's not forget, and while a lot of you all did not like Force, because I know, because we covered
I
it
don't
and
know
we
how.
knew the comments there, but
I
like
fucking
this
love
this
Force.
is exactly it. As Cabri says, Tommy the leader is different than Tommy the enforcer. The more
Yeah,
level-headed than we see in the original Power. That's
yeah.
entirely right. Tommy in Force entire struggle was about dealing with lost, as we've seen in the very first episode, as he is running through all of the different deaths and all of the folks that he's
Mm-hmm.
lost around him. And so he
Yep.
exiled himself into Chicago as he was trying to get to
Mm-hmm.
California, but he stopped in Chicago and he realized that he does have more family than he realized he did. So he's starting to
Mm-hmm.
find his purpose in terms of being alive and being present. But ultimately, the other struggle was that he was always the enforcer to Ghost. While Ghost, as Tasha said, he wasn't stupid. And as we know, Ghost was not only just a business person, but he was a street dude. He was a perfect balance of it. Tommy didn't
Yeah.
make the business decision. He made the street decisions, and he also was
Mm-hmm.
good with the trigger. Now we see him happen to do it all. We see him and what Ghost was to him being for himself. And I think Tasha's conversation with him was a reminder of everything that Tommy has done and can do over all of the years, saying like, hey, you're day one, and while Tommy respects Tasha, Tasha respects Tommy. And I think that the three of them, and you could probably even throw Kanan in there. I don't think none of them ever realized that they did not all have talents to be like, should we say BMF in a sense. Like they
Mm-hmm.
could be the biggest bosses in wherever they went. And as long as they applied themselves, they would have been good. I sound like a teacher here, but like
Yes.
they
Yes, you do.
literally they literally have all the tools. And I think that like this conversation was to help refocus Tommy, which is why I said Tasha showing up in Force could truly just be that same. Or and matter of fact, I'll tell you this: if Tasha does not land up in Chicago, this scene will be in Force of Tommy having that heart to heart with Tasha and reminding him about him having family and how he has to live because he is an uncle, obviously, to the folks in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, but also to Tariq and Tasha, who's still in New York. So,
Hey,
you
here you
know,
go. What about Tariq ending up in Chicago?
I mean, I think when you really talk about the power universe, you have to start doing this at some point.
Yeah.
The fans, the audience. I mean, y'all in the comments right now, y'all let us know. Do y'all want to see folks move from show to show? Because I think as we love superhero films and we love the connectability of these things, I think when you start using the word universe, as every time you start a power episode, it says power universe. Well, truly, besides these characters just having their own spin-off show, I think we want to see some of
Mm-hmm.
our main characters end up or other show, which is why episode 9 was so crazy. Seeing Tommy, seeing 2-Bit return, Tasha returning. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they just kept coming with the punches left and right. And I
And
think
we got
Force
Tariq,
deserves that.
and in the end, we get Tariq and Braden on the run.
Yep.
You think they're going to stay in New York?
Yep.
Wouldn't that be a good on the run for them to go down to Chicago?
Yep. And you know what? I would love for them legitimately to announce a crossover episode. I would love them to just say episode 6 will be the biggest crossover episode in Power history, and they show a little clip of like whoever's going to appear and let them do what they do. I think if they really want to get these ratings back to what they used to be, I think they have got to
I think
start
the
doing
the
it.
hard part is that they don't run these concurrently like other shows that have these type of crossovers. So whether it be like the Law and Order Jones or wow, I don't think we're gonna get Spready Gibbs in Ghost
I would
anytime
like to
soon.
see I would love to see Jannard in New York.
I would love to see Diamond in New York.
Either one, I will take it.
Yeah.
I would take it.
Or again, if we get Tariq going to Chicago to hide out for a minute while the heat dies down, and when he
Mhm.
goes back to New York, somehow, some way, Tommy gets Diamond to go with him.
Yep.
It's a
Yep.
it's a perfect way to cross over the two because as you said before, I don't think it's a ratings issue because if we go back, Force when it debuted and its first season is some of the highest rating stars it's ever had.
Mhm.
No matter how
Mhm.
many people didn't like the show because it kind of feels like The Wire season 2, where it
Mhm.
kind of feels at times so departed from everything else you've gotten in the Power universe. But I think that's a good thing here. But I don't think it's a ratings thing. I really think it's a storytelling aspect of it all. I think they do miss the point that Tate's power book was taken away,
Yeah.
because that could have given the complete picture here of all of them being combined. So now you have to find a way to move these pieces around, because wow, this is Force's power book 4. Technically, 1 is done, and no one can show up on 3. So
Yeah.
you're kind of only left with 2 shows where
Yeah.
people can cross over on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I love this comment, and I think that could be something
Yeah,
for
D-Mac,
sure.
hey, perfect actually.
Yep. Yeah, there's a young nucleus within all the power that like obviously sets them up for years to come. And honestly, I'm just gonna say what it is too. It may not be ratings, but I think that the force characters could use that rub with being connected to the ghost characters, because when you like when you watch the crew has it, when they have their podcast and you see them interviewing the folks from these other shows, it makes these characters feel so much bigger to me. Like not the actors, because some of these actors have been around on many projects for many years here, but I feel like their characters, and seeing them across from Braden and Tariq, from Michael and Gianni, you just kind of like, yo, the way how they appreciate these characters makes you think, what does that look like if somehow, some way they were able to actually really interact with each other on the show? Which to me, yeah, D-Mac and Tariq would be crazy, like 1,000%.
Now that
And
I think
honestly,
about it, who else would be alive from Canaan in this time period?
I mean, they would be older, and they would be like, I mean, obviously they would be Tommy's age. I mean, they can introduce somebody. They can,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That it still leaves room to
yeah.
introduce different type of characters in here. And again, we still haven't addressed, and they have not purposely addressed yet,
Oh
the end of
boy.
the original power
Oh
and what happened.
yeah.
Like that's something
And
that hasn't been addressed yet.
and don't forget that everybody's looking for Kanan to eventually land on the doorsteps of young Tommy and young Ghost and
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Roller, and all those other characters. So I mean, they got potential for interest too. But again, I want to see the universe connecting. Let's get through a lot more of the show, because we got so many more things to talk about, especially the ending here. But anyway, Tariq wanted to know where Tasha is, and he said she took off. If you put and Tommy said, listen, if you put Monet on the ground, you're gonna put everyone else in the ground. That's G-Mon, Yas, and so on. And he said, listen, you're not prepared for war. If you want to survive, you're either all in or all out. Letting Tariq know, like, you can't exist in both spaces, man. Either like you're gonna be this or you're gonna be that. And he says, listen, I want you to have my back. And with that, he says, like, listen, this ain't my war. Tommy says, I'm already dead in New York. Be smart, Tariq. So Tariq is funny, because Tariq was kind of like, yeah, forget all that. I'm ready to go to war. Have my back, Uncle Tommy. Then Tommy's like, well, by the way, no, I'm not going to get involved with this.
By the way, I got some shit in Chicago popping off.
Here's
I need
the
not
most
to be there.
Exactly. Here's the most toxic comment for like 2 years right here. That's all people care about. Where is Breeze? Who's Breeze? Where's Breeze? Is Ghost still alive? And where's Breeze? That's the two most toxic
that's
comments
the two
forever.
biggest questions humanly possible. But go back to this conversation. I love this conversation between Tariq and Tommy, because it's literally the same thing he told Ghost. You can't be in both worlds. And as long as you're in both worlds, everyone's at risk.
Yeah.
And this is something that it's been an ongoing theme also this season, of people telling Tariq, buddy, you can't pretend to be this college student and be this big drug lord. You got to pick which one you're going to do here.
Yep.
I think it was also Big Mama that told Tariq this.
Yeah.
Like multiple times he's heard this during the course of the season. And when Tommy tells him this, and the path that he goes down by the end of this episode proves Tommy right. Like, you have to pick which one you're going to be here. You can't go to a canonical studies class and then go move 10 bricks. Like, you got to pick which you're going to be here. And you're not prepared for a war, because we brought it up countless times. Tariq has no soldiers. Like, and you ain't getting the soldiers unless you're 100% invested.
1,000%.
Because then you got to get people to follow you.
Yeah. The juice, man, got the juice tonight. That's entirely what I was about to say. Tommy has been heeding this warning to all of his suit brothers around him in terms of like, listen, man, it's a dangerous game trying to exist in both worlds. As we've seen Ghost trying to get out and start his love life with Angela, but also still trying to be in the streets. Listen, you either in or you out. And we know Tommy was trying to push Ghost out because Tommy was trying to assume all of the responsibilities in New York. And this is a little bit of a different case here because now Tommy is, as he said, New York, I'm dead as New York is dead to him. He's beyond that now. As we also know in the trailer for Force, he says, man, we run this city. He has Chicago on lock, which is a dangerous game in his own. He's not thinking about New York, man. There's more money to be made in Chicago for him now. But anyway, he says, New York, in New York, I'm already dead. Be smart to read. Now, Tate and his campaign folks, AVH concedes and Tate wins the preliminary. He now looks at Harper and says, maybe we could try again. And after the third time, he proposes to Harper and she says yes. The Tejadas now sorting out about Monet being in power. And Kane lets them know very clear, we all are drug dealers here. He tells Drew, I know y'all been waiting for this in the comments. He tells Drew, you ain't about to be no basketball housewife. And Diana, you ain't no sorority chick here. This is what we are. And Diana, in response to Kane behind his back, of course, says, fuck them both. So Monet called a straight here. But also he's talking to Kane, which I thought was interesting, and said they're never going to see us coming. I know that they showed the scene later, but when they first showed this, did you have any clue what Diana's gripe was with Kane?
No.
I was like, what?
Not at all. None at all. Because it didn't, at this point, it didn't fully make sense. Kane literally has been the one checking up repeatedly on Diana to make sure she was fine. It's always been Kane. So you kind of found that little weird here that she would say fuck them both. But again, we also know that she understands that Kane's relationship with Monet is different than her and Drew's relationship with Monet. Yeah. So I just thought it was the situation where she fully understood. In the end, Kane gonna ride with his mama before he ride for anybody else.
Yeah, it's that relationship is interesting too, but I mean, it's very consistent for the writing of Kane. We'll talk about that in just a second here. This is a funny part of the episode here. The Weston's family meeting. Everyone is sorting out what they're going to do. Everyone's, oh my God, and like, oh my God, the white tears in this room right now.
Exactly. The loss of white privilege. It's such an amazing thing to see here.
Yeah. But Monet and Kane rolling up, asking about the money because Monet wanted to know that money she invested into Weston Holdings, where it at. But they're gonna run that though because they come in here, they cop a painting, they cop a watch, they robs them, and they say it's a down payment. And we also see Braden get some flack from his father saying you're not one of them. Becca surprisingly didn't. I'm surprised she was scared, but I'm surprised she didn't intervene as she usually does in terms of like her parents being out of line because
her privilege was challenged. Like she fell right in line. She fell right in line. She like, no, Braden. Like, no. I would stick up for you in these colors. But listen, my money leaving. We can't have this. This is not the way we do business.
Yeah.
She's one of those white liberal justice warriors. But the moment they pinch and get rich, though, all that shit go right out the window. She was not having it. And mama popping pills. So like she like, nah, we can't do this. This is not gonna work for us.
It's a lot of dark secrets in this family. And I think that's something that we've been hinting at since the very first episode of season 1 is that there is obviously a burn book of things. Well, not burn book. Well, because I don't want to. There's actually there's different definitions for burn book. Similar to that nature, right? But there's definitely a lot of dark secrets with this family, and they just continue to hint at them, but we haven't seen the repercussions of them. We haven't seen the full repercussions of them. But again, because I think a lot of this was being built for influence. And I think that's why they're still holding out for it, because they made a really big deal about it earlier. And we was like, oh, this is going to be something. And I think, again, as we hear the mom hinting at things like her and the relationship that her and Lucas had, and they kind of joked about it, and that was like hella weird. But then, wow, like, is there something about this we don't know? I don't know. There's definitely some interesting like aspects to that.
Hey, which one of them is Lucas's kid? Take y'all pick.
Right. Yeah, because y'all do that about everybody else. You're right. What's up, Motown investor? It's been a while since we've seen you. Hey to you too. Braden realized his family ain't shit. I'll say shit because I mean you could have typed it. It probably would have blocked it. Who knows? But it's okay. I can say that.
It's you too.
But it's the truth. Hey, see, and that's like a thing. Like, this comment's not even out of line because it seems like a super strong possibility. And I would like to know why even hint at
called that
right.
She slept with Lucas. Yeah.
Right. And why hint at something like that without it actually being meaningful? So that's what I'm thinking. Like, they're building this weird, like, tension within the family amongst the corruption within the family. And it'll be interesting to kind of see if they actually going to like really lay out all the cards with that. Again, everybody's stepping in the comments tonight. We got about close to 300 people tonight rocking with us. We appreciate you all. You all are the real ones. Again, get in the comments. We're reading those comments live. Again,
I ain't gonna tell y'all how much this is throwing me off about Becca
them saying Lucas.
Hey, I have been thrown off since this character was named Lucas. Because every time I said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, Rebecca's Lucas. Oh, what the fuck are they talking about? Oh, the show. Yes. Lucas. You know what? I could see that as more of a possibility than Becca of Brayden being Lucas's son.
Oh my God. And could you imagine if what he said to Tariq and he did the same thing and he killed his father.
Killing his father?
Oh man. Oh my God. And then you know what a moment would that be in terms of saying, like, you did what you had to do. Now you see why I did what I had to do. That shit would be
it would write itself there.
Wow, that would be wild. Also, like, Ghost and both of their fathers fell off balconies. Y'all love comparison. So I know somebody right now is going to have a video of them going side by side, them falling. Yeah, because the content creators with power is, they're thorough. That'll be wild. Let me give a shout out to where'd that comment go again? Yeah, Monica M. Yeah, I just want to make sure you I think it was you that had that comment, right? You made sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah,
there you go.
Capri. Sorry. With the comment here. That's when I can get behind. But yeah, anyway, folks, and if you are feeling gracious tonight, please hit us with the super chats. We'll make sure those comments are read with priority. We'll let them sit on the screen a little bit. And we appreciate any donations tonight as we are live with you all. Don't even want to tell y'all what time it is. And I also don't want to tell y'all what time I need to be up tomorrow. But it's all good. It's a holiday weekend.
Got me drinking wine at 2:30 in the morning.
And I'm trying to figure out. Definitely trying to figure out how can I like scoot over to the fridge really quick while it's all good. Anywho, let's continue with the show here. Where are we at now? Also, okay, cool. So we have Kane and Monet after they hit a lick on the Weston family. And Monet is like, when were you going to tell me about Effie being locked up? And listen, Kane comes back instantly, like, don't trip about Effie. She kept it 100. And then Monet lays him out, as we know, and as he had to be checked. Nigga, you are pussy whipped. You can't even see that she's out for herself. And Kane, there's two things here. Monet was like, all right, well, I'll handle this. And I think Kane sits back and realizes two things. First, he says fuck. But I think he said fuck because he probably realized that he is pussy whipped. He probably also realized that Effie's intentions is kind of questionable. But ultimately, he realized that Monet saying I'll handle this could be very problematic for Effie.
He knew when Monet said I'm handling this, that means Monet gonna kill her.
Yeah.
That's how Monet only handles problems with death. She does not handle it logically. When she says, "I'll take care of it," you already know what Monet's gonna do. She's gonna kill whoever she says that about.
Who does your layouts? This guy. This guy right here does the layouts here. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Super chats help us keep the lights on. I gotta work like 1,000 jobs out here, man. Editing and graphic design and hosting and showing up on these red carpets and traveling and all this stuff for you all. We try to bring the best for you all. That's why we do it. That's why we're up tonight. We love you all and all the real ones who's here. 300 and something of you all who either watched the league or didn't watch the league. Didn't matter. You're here tonight.
Don't
hanging
matter.
Out with us.
It is what it is. Unfortunately, that's something that happened. It's been addressed. Stars has addressed it. Everyone has addressed it. Like it is what it is at this point. Like everybody watched. Most people did watch the leaks, but even the people watching the leaks at least went back and watched the actual show. That's the good part. Like in the end, people love this show no matter what. Let me ask
you a question real quick. After I read this comment, she hung Curry for Zeke. Yeah, don't get it twisted. I want Monet to kill Effie. Absolutely.
Damn,
Diana got to go.
Yes,
Kane sent Effie that warning. Exactly. Does Tasha show up in Chicago? We talked about that a little bit. I'd say yes. Lucas says no. Let me ask you a question really quick. For the folks who watched the leak, and for the folks who watched the episode drop tonight, were the episodes the same? There had been a little bit of folks out there saying that there was potentially multiple endings. I've only watched our authentic screener that we got of it early, so I know nothing about the leak. But they had said the same thing about Ghost, but also they had said the same thing about the conclusion of the original Power, that they had recorded multiple endings, and that they put out one for, I guess, for testing purposes or whatever. I don't know. There's a bunch of little theories out there thrown out about that. But again, I'm hearing that they might have been two different episodes. They're definitely the same. They're the same. They're the same. They're the same. They're the same. Okay, cool. Appreciate y'all. Just wanted to check that. Anyway, Effie's in jail because on the next episode of Orange is the New Black, we have Effie being moved to her new cell by, as you mentioned, the same girl that was giving Tasha hell when she was in jail. And Effie goes there and she has her blanket. She has her cell phone in there. The door's left halfway open. And she mentions
how Effie know how to fight better than Tariq. That's what we need to do. How Effie know how to fight better than Tariq? Tariq was getting tossed over everything humanly possible. How that happened, Joe?
Yeah. She's a real one. She's a real one. And she said, look, looks like we got another bad bitch. Lights out at 9. Again, Effie got a burner phone. And then the text in that says, Monet is coming for you. Watch your back. I want to talk about this scene really quickly, but I want to get this comment in right now from T. Cooper, which we truly appreciate you coming through with the super chat tonight. I really enjoy your recaps. You guys asses the characters differently. Excuse me. Assess the characters differently than any other creators who review the show. Hey, yeah, my ass is tired right now. That's what it is. We try to give a different perspective, and we just try to have a lot of fun with it. And we definitely appreciate you recognizing that. We'll let that sit there for a second there. I want to talk about the scene really quickly in the jail because there's a couple of things to pick up on. One, like the jail door being left open, we knew something was coming.
Yeah.
So how did Kane get a burner phone in there? But also at the same token, because it's like the two of them, Kane and Monet, both worked actively to get a message to Effie, where we have Monet putting a hit out on Effie in prison, which is also in conjunction with the correctional officer. So they're all on the same page. And then also gets a phone in there, which is also delivered by the correctional officer. What? So is the correctional officer just taking the highest bid at this point? Is that just kind of how it goes?
Whoever got the most money. I mean, but even in the end, what did the correction officer say to Effie? Oh, I see you survived. Like again, it's prisons can be bought, and she's in the same prison that Tasha was in. Technically, the same thing happened to Tasha. Tasha got a burner phone in. people were still trying to kill Tasha. Like,
Yeah.
I think
The
she's the
duality,
same
man.
female who was under at one point Lorenzo's control.
Could be, yeah.
And that's how Monet got in touch with Tasha when she was in jail.
That's right. What an amazing callback there. Yeah, yep. Dang, I'm surprised somebody even beat you to that, man. But then again, that's why you're here, right? But I listen, I promise you all with the Effie theories, I'm going to address them all in a little bit because there's some
Y'all
good
just
ones
hate on
getting
Effie
it.
so much. I don't know. I don't get it. All she did was protect herself. That's it. She do nothing wrong here. I
Yeah,
understand you all see that she turned on Tariq, but then to see it that way, we have to ignore everything Tariq did to her this season and
yeah,
say that she turned on Tariq because she wouldn't allow him to set up Noma. Again, we gonna get into it because that's something I can't wait to talk about
yeah,
because I can't believe people attempting to hold her accountable when she literally says this entire season she's for herself. Like they've even pinpointed just how much she needs to do this for her own.
yeah,
Why would she
yeah.
help Tariq at this point?
I just want to. I'm gonna get to this comment again. I just want to make sure we showed love to again T Cooper, and while she is giving this these amazing praises, we love you all too, man. You all are amazing. You all bring all types of comments in there. And honestly, let me tell y'all something real quick. I love everybody that's interacting in here tonight because you see how all of this is positive. This is what it's all about here. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's dropping in with their theories, no matter what side of the fence you're all with them. But everybody's having fun. It to me gets bothersome when folks try to get in the comments to be trying to be disrespectful. And you notice how none of them show up, right? Now, it's interesting. Now that we're here live, maybe they didn't want that wreck from you. Maybe that's what it was, you know.
Hey,
But
hey, hey, they,
any other week, they aiming, though. They were aiming for me
oh
last
man,
week too.
hey,
They were aiming for me,
hey,
so.
I forget the guy's name who was acting like he didn't watch the leaks, and he was trying to give all these amazing
Oh, I
opinions
blocked him.
based off
I
of something
blocked
he
him.
already saw.
Oh, I blocked him.
Like,
I know you're talking about. I blocked him early.
yeah,
I got tired. I got tired of him with that. Yeah, and then the person that was hating in the earlier of the season, I blocked him too. You listen. They're not gonna mess up my little community with all the positivity here. And as again, we got 300 and something folks here tonight with us. Again,
who put that up there? KB Brown. I agree with you. I think Force is going to be great. Like, I liked Force a lot,
yeah,
I like Force.
yeah,
So but I understood that it was so different. That's what was throwing people off. But again, this is a great setup. Or maybe what we see is a big gap of time between this and Force is done because this is so explosive at the end that they feel you need a time to breathe before you get back into Force to
yeah,
build back up those characters and build back up that storyline.
yeah. Jeb,
Y'all
I
are
think,
so focused on Noma's daughter. I don't
yeah,
think
why
that is
not? Why
something.
not?
It's
Listen,
not
listen.
Effie. It is not
Yeah,
Effie. I know people
listen.
want it to be Effie. It's
Yeah.
not Effie.
This is smart for them to open up a spot on the cast. You don't need to know who it is right yet. We need to allow them to properly hire somebody to be a part of the team, which gives them some time to do so, which obviously they're already filming, so they've already made a decision. But I think it's smart for them to not like just quickly put a person in there without them taking some time to like really build this character. That's another thing that Power has done very good. Let's not forget about
Yep.
season 1 when Effie was introduced, and then Effie didn't become a staple until season 2. And they've continuously done that. I mean, it's the same thing with Jenny. Jenny
Mhm.
was introduced, and then Jenny came and became a staple. And I think Jenny, at some point, may possibly get a promotion. We may see Jenny on Force. It could be a thing. You just never know.
That's the easiest crossovers for Force or the police.
Yeah,
That's
thousand
always
percent,
the easiest crossover to
thousand
do is
percent,
the police.
1000%. So anyway, we got Tariq and Davis, and Davis says, "Do not start a war." And we got to get the charges dropped with Diana, or everybody goes down. And Tariq talked about having to leverage Tate, and how that could be useful. David said he'll take care of it. He says focus on Effie, and also tells Davis tells Tariq, everyone's favorite comment here, and y'all already know because y'all already said it 1,000 times tonight. She gotta go, Tariq. She's not on that side. But he says that Effie has a picture that can get us from under Noma. And then he also mentioned another person has to go, which I have not said, but Lauren has to go too. I'm surprised none of y'all have said that.
Oh no. I seen a couple comments about Lauren needs to go.
But
some people questioning what's Lauren's next move.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there. That's why I want to get down to some of the other stuff. But he says, obviously, Davis, he doesn't give a fuck no more. And he said, those are your bitches, you know. And Tariq says he learned that killing leads to problems, and also tells Davis, you got to pull your shit together. As he says, listen, I lost my sister. I know you lost your brother right in front of your eyes. You got to pull your shit together. This isn't the time to be crumbling. And he says she has to feel they started to figure out how they were going to work this out with Lauren. Said she got to feel like she's in more danger if she testified than if she doesn't. It says, will Effie talk to you? Got to convince her to do something she doesn't want to do. Anyway, we get Effie, who's fighting in jail because, again, on this episode of Orange is the New Black, we get Homegirl trying to kill her. And as you mentioned earlier, the CEO says, you're tougher than I thought, but also immediately pulls her and says you have a visitor. I will say that I did not like how they did not have Effie looking a little bit more roughed up. I would have liked to see her hair out of her, out of the ponytail and like all kind of like poofed up. You know how like all the girls used to look in middle school in high school and they get in fights, like their hair just be all straggling.
She had on an Alexander McQueen prison jumpsuit. You already know power doesn't do anything normal. Yeah, they don't do nothing normal. Not a hair was out of place on Effie's head. She had a what did we say when Tasha went in there and they made Tasha strip down like Viola Davis in How to Get Away with Murder when she took off her makeup?
Yeah,
Effie had a full set in that jump. Eyelashes, hair done, and everything. Effie like, nah, y'all not giving me the Tasha treatment. I'm not taking off my wig the way Tasha had to take off hers to get in there. No, not at all.
Right. We know Effie was in the original Power, but can you tell me one significant thing that Effie did in Original Power? That's my point. Is that
the way they built the character over the years?
Yeah. Thank you. Like, let's go back to these comments. I missed these comments. These are the ones that really carried us for a couple of years. Like everybody's suspecting who Effie is. Effie is just a straggler. She's a There's a name for this. I can't think of it. But I don't want to say stray, but a drifter. She's a drifter. She's just out here, just going wherever something's popping. I wouldn't be surprised if Effie ends up in Chicago.
Effie has been everyone's daughter at one point or another.
Ghost.
I remember when she was Kanan's
Ghost,
daughter.
Tommy, Kanan. Yep. Yaz sister. Like all these things. Snitch. Yeah, she's Mecca daughter. Let's not forget that one too. Y'all said that too.
Hey, exactly. She's 2-Bit daughter. Why did that come out yet? Why can't she be 2-Bit's daughter? She's Lakeisha's little sister. Like so many things.
Yeah. She's Jukebox half sister. Like, just keep throwing them out there. You know,
she's Jukebox's daughter. From Her and Famous. Like,
oh man, I'm so tired of this, but it's so funny. Anyway, Tariq goes and see Effie. He says, I got a plan to get you out. You can't post bail. I thought this was interesting. I didn't really look at the legality of this, but I guess it makes sense. But it says listen, she wants to know how less time helps her. Says the grand jury can indict you within 5 days. And you know, and I had no clue about it. To me, I started to wonder, has this happened ever before? I would imagine yes, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have a timetable to present evidence to a grand jury to actually get charges against somebody.
Yeah.
Once you don't get those charges against somebody, what's next?
Yeah.
They have to be let go.
Yeah. But anyway, it says we're on the same team, okay? But listen, I need that picture of Noma's daughter. I'll get you out and get us from under Noma. And then she says, I already found her, but you're not getting shit until I'm out. Effie is definitely Ray Ray's daughter, without a doubt. y'all heard they gave Effie's full name. I mean, besides Morales, did they give her middle name? Because I don't know if I heard that. But I mean, we've always known Effie name was Effie Morales. They've been saying her name the entire time. Her eyes have been on her. And I even said that the one time, unless the accent was so strong that they even gave Effie another last name. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure her name was always Effie Morales the entire time. But there was
Clockwork
another
Boy one. Nah, she wouldn't be alive if she was Jukebox's daughter. Why wouldn't she be alive?
yeah.
Jukebox would be the age of Tommy. Technically, she would be Tariq's age.
Josephina Morales. Oh, yeah. You're right. Who's the Asian girl that gave that Evie? Oh, it's the girl that she was sleeping with. Her little business partner, that Business and Pleasure was kind of mixing.
Damn it, John.
Everyone's got to go. This ain't got to Effie gets pregnant for Kane next season. I tell you why I don't like that, because then you have Alex happen to be pregnant while filming, and I mean, she doesn't have to necessarily show, but I just think like it's this constraint on the actor that really serves no purpose. I mean, Kane's already whipped, so a pregnancy wouldn't make him do anything already more. Yeah, it wouldn't do any different.
Well, Leon comment, nah, Effie is either Greg Knox or Angela's daughter.
Where is that? Where is that? Where's that comment?
Oh, shit.
Oh, there you go. Y'all sure know how to pour it on, man.
Well, for her parents would be dead, she wouldn't have a family. No, Auntie Pa's still there.
Yep, you're right. Which means what's on the hard drive. Anywho, Tariq, Braden, and Kane, and Kane making jokes about the watches. They talk about Lauren have to reverse her story on Effie. They have a 5-day window. Kane is still making jokes about the watch. Let me see what time it is. But you have to get the photos of Lauren family. So we get Lauren and Tariq. Tariq tells Lauren, you can't testify, it's not safe. It wasn't me with Sats. You just gotta trust me. I got a plan. We need to meet in public. I'll meet you tonight. And Lauren picks up a knife. Let me tell you what's funny about this. Lauren is obviously worried about Tariq's motives here. Yeah. And she says, if we're going to do this, you need to meet me in public, right? Why the fuck would she meet in a park at night? Unless there's something about New York I don't know. Because last time I checked, even if you don't live in New York, everybody's seen Home Alone. And we've seen what happened at night to Kevin.
What park is safe in New York at night?
None.
Just name me one. I need to know.
Little Kevin, even the bird lady, the pigeon lady was out there a threat at night. She wants to meet at night with her little kitchen life. I was like, what? Anyway, Lauren's parents here, they get got by Kane and Drew with their masks on and whatnot. So Lauren shows up and says, listen, you're not in danger. We're here to make a deal. Kane, Braden, and Tariq all are there. And Kane says, listen, if I give you my word, it's my bond. As I have it right here in my notes, as Tariq tells Lauren, what you want to end up in Arizona as a cashier? Everybody goes to Arizona, man. But
hey, that's the perfect place for Woodsack is Arizona.
Absolutely.
Or South Dakota. It got to be a state no one cares about. No one cares about Arizona. Arizona, only people that care about Arizona is people that live close to California.
Yeah.
It's like living in New Jersey. Like it ain't the big state, but it's close enough.
Yeah. It's very true that Lauren isn't the brightest crayon in the box. And I love how they keep her very dipsy. I mean, obviously she's book smart. She's very sheltered. And I love how they never allowed this character to be mature. Which is why everything that's happened to her this season makes sense. She just never had to be out on her own. She was very sheltered, damn near homeschooled by her actions. It seems
rich
like
parents. I would expect her not to all of a sudden understand how the streets work.
Yeah,
that would be realistic for her. She needs to be as green as humanly possible.
Yeah, but he says like I need to guarantee. Everybody wants to make sure that we got everything everything worked out, and they need a guarantee from Lauren. Lauren needs a guarantee from Effie. Lauren says, if something happens to my family, this is over. Let her family go, Kane. He says we always know where to find them. So there's that. And then Effie. Then Lauren says, Jenny and Blanca was right. It all comes back to you, Tariq. This is the last time you lied to me, as Lauren is mad and so on. But anyway,
right.
Tate and he's celebrating. He makes his speech. He gives love to Harper. New York leads the way. I think the silliest campaign rally chant ever, but whatever. And Davis is in the crowd. He congratulates him. And he talks about Tariq and the Tejadas were burnt from the Weston Holdings thing. So if there's a bullet on your head, I have a message for you, as he said. He said, I need you to get the charges, get Diana Tejada dropped, and make sure they back off of me as well, too. And he says, I'll help a friend in need whenever a large donation is made. Harper overhears it. She's pissed. She leaves off. Somebody wants to write a story about her, and she says it will be a tragedy. I kind of hated that, but like, I get it. She's heartbroken. She's pissed. But also, if y'all don't understand the full circle moment here, is that she has tried to tell Tate, you got to come clean now. You got to stop playing this little dirty game that we know him to be. But again,
everybody knows who Tate is. Everybody.
Exactly.
She knows who Tate is.
Yeah. And I just think like it would just be so.
What Chris Rock used to say, you can't be surprised when a tiger become a tiger. Like at what point are you surprised that this is Tate? Like, of course, he been crooked forever.
Yeah,
like, it's never gonna stop.
Yeah, and I honestly don't
make a decision to walk away if necessary. But I didn't care about her walking away. That's the key part. One, she got introduced this season, and within this season, they had minimal contact but fell in love, got engaged, broke up, got back together, got engaged, and now they broke up again. I don't care about this character. Like, it's we're not giving enough. Like, she ain't even teaching in school no more. Because again, as we've said, or other people have said before, like they can't go back to that classroom. Like, what's the point now?
Yeah.
Everybody gone. Light skin Keisha gone. She now running the campaign for Tate. Becca is worrying about her white privilege. Diana is selling drugs and killing people, and Tariq's on the run, and Effie is selling drugs and killing people. Like, again, that whole classroom aspect is gone now. What's the point of this character besides to make something for Tate? But
facts.
Nah, Tate is Tate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is why like you build the slow investment into these characters. But again, I mean, I don't know. I just keep campaigning that it should be its own show. But I think like when it comes down to Bennett, I think there's really nothing to emotionally invest in with this character right now. So they're gonna have some work to do next season. Same thing with Tate. I mean, like I saw a comment saying like there's a bullet for Tate's head, but I don't think that even serves a purpose because who and why?
Who's trying to kill Tate?
Yeah. He has
you can buy Tate. You don't need to kill him.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's a get out of jail for free card. And like again, if he could get the charges dropped for Diana, who else wouldn't leverage something like that? Monet could use that at some point. Davis could utilize this again at some point. Monet could use it through Davis by Monet could use this by way of Davis. Like there's a lot of reasons why they could be beneficial. Tariq could need it again. It's a lot of reasons why him being dead doesn't make sense. But I think that like they just need to they're gonna have to figure out a way to make us reinvest into this character. And everybody that's involved with them. I mean, Brashandria, what's next for her, as you mentioned? What's next for Bennett? I don't want to see a love angle between her being pissed off because he's accepting money, you know? Yeah, I get it, but that's still not enough for it to be like added time for other focuses of each episode, you know? But anyway, Braden's in Lucas' office. Kiki comes in, talks about RJ being out the country. She's on her way back to Columbus. And she says she needs to step back and start over. And you know, at least you get that too, by the way. And she says, you know how you said that you're gonna make this all go away. And Kiki just starts asking a lot of incriminating questions. And then Braden said, well, what are you asking me? And says, well, maybe you need to get out of here too, thinking about what you're becoming, and then maybe he said maybe it's a little bit too late for that. And yeah, we got evil Braden on the horizon. As he said, it might be a little bit too late for that, but I thought that was very interesting that like Kiki did try to slide in terms of saying like, I think I know what you did, but then she reverted it back to basically saying like, I'm going to Ohio, you should too. But you know, this is just, it's basically just telling of us showing that like Braden is slowly converting into the person he didn't want to become, and
the person people have been waiting for him to be.
Yeah. So I think yeah, I mean, let's just call it what it is. I think Gianni's probably excited too that his character is becoming a staple, much like Tariq, you know. And that's what it is, you know, birds of a flock. So we get Lauren and Jenny, and Lauren says this isn't about justice, this is about your self motives. If you want Effie to flip, let me talk to her. She has no reason to stay loyal to Tariq. I want to talk to Effie or I'm not testifying. So Effie and Lauren have their meeting in jail. As he said, this isn't recorded. Lauren, I don't give a fuck about you. As Effie makes it very clear that she does not like Lauren's privilege. And as she mentions that, like, it's been hard for me since birth. And she says it wasn't personal, it was business. As once you start to step into my business life, then it became personal.
It becomes personal.
Yep. And says it's not. And Lauren says exactly what Lauren should have said here. Based on how this character is being built, this is exactly that. It says, I'm not the same Lauren that I used to be. Like eyes are wide open now, bitch. Just like, what?
This is Lauren from Free World.
But like she says,
parents, if you have two very good parents, you better stop faking like you this hard all of a sudden.
Exactly, man. She said, listen, you got to recant all your statement. We can all walk and have our normal lives back. So there is that. Anyway, we got Jenny in the grand jury. Lauren is on the stand, and she's looks like she's freezing, but in fact, she says, yes, Jenny had told me to say all these things, forced me to sign this, the panic attacks, how she woke up, and then Jenny was saying that she had died and all this other stuff. And then she says, sorry, Jenny, I'm not following your agenda no more. I thought this scene was funny because we seen like Lauren kind of emotional the entire time, and she's trying to convince everybody. And then she just turns around and says, and I'm not following your agenda anymore. And I'm like, okay, well, everybody in their blind auntie should be able to see that this was an act here. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter because now everything is fucked.
Yep. Because now you got the witness saying that she lied for you.
Yep.
That's about it. That's all it takes.
So Jenny and the Rico team, and Jenny says, I don't know what happened, but they got to her. We got a data charger. We got to let Effie go. Got nothing from the coffee shop. They played you. Medina says this is done. Effie texts Lauren. I'm sorry. Tariq texts Lauren, says, are you okay? And Lauren throws the phone away. Lauren is with her family and they leave, and she looks sad. Is this the last time we see Lauren?
I don't think so, because why? Why would it need to be? I mean, she's not going to witness protection because no one. And if she did go to witness protection, it'd be in New Jersey. So we're clearly going to see Lauren again here. But I think this is just a separation for her. This is possibly the end of her relationship with Tariq, for sure.
Yeah.
Because she no longer trusts Tariq. But I can see her popping up for something else down the road. Yeah. Power loves to take a character like this and possibly go a year and a half without showing them, and then bringing this character back again.
Yeah.
What y'all sounded like Nate Geary. What Salim do? He did nothing. He did nothing but get his Dr. Umar on for a couple episodes.
Silver Spring niggas don't die, they multiply. That's why he's still alive. There's no way he's gonna catch a bullet. He from Silver Spring. He was protected by the holy power of the Hotep. Of course he was gonna be around.
He was protected by that church in Silver Spring that looks like Disney World. Ain't no way they could kill Salim.
The Mormon church?
Hey, you got to be from the DMV to understand what I'm saying. Everybody done drove past and thought you was going to Disney World. When you see that big ass Mormon church that they hid from people Up until last year, no one could enter into this place.
Yeah, let me see if I could let me see if I could.
That's what
Hey, listen,
Salim is
I just
right
type
now.
in MOR and it pops right up. Mormon Church of Let me go ahead and put that. Hey y'all, let me show y'all the DMV. Let me see if this works in the chat real quick. The DMV
Oh, man.
Disneyland right there. I don't know if links work, but if not, y'all just look up this right here. This where Salim hang out at.
We've all driven through through that Joe in Silver Spring and thought like, hey, that's a big ass castle. We gotta be at Disney World.
Yep.
But like,
Salim is 35.
Salim
He should be in jail. How y'all pull his age? I mean, y'all, because y'all all know everybody's age. That's why. Anyway, let's finish getting through everything. Just quickly on the comment.
Oh my God, it's real.
It's definitely real. Means you can't hide. Let me. My thoughts about Lauren is that I thought it was kind of her like a metaphorical moment of her throwing the phone away and saying she was done with Tariq, but it's love. So of course she'll come back. Now the question is, did they try to pull one of those Angela and Ghost stories of them reconnecting after some time, and they reflect back on it, and then Tariq is in a committed relationship with Brashandria at this point, and now he's forced with who will he be with? Brashandria, Kiki, Noma's daughter. I don't know. Who could it be? Alicia Marie, like who will it be? And then Lauren returns. I don't know.
Diana, you already know who it is. Diana's pregnant with Tariq's child, and now she got to find a way to make it back and make it even because she's now trying to set up Tariq.
Could that? You know what? What if that was the case, and that could be the conflict with the Tejadas going after Tariq? Because now Diana, who lied on Tariq, by the way,
in the heartbeat,
now has to sit back and say, okay, actually, he didn't do it. I mean, Drew knows, but Kane doesn't. So, and what does that do for Kane and Drew, who's always been on the same page, to find out that they tried to trick Kane? Oh, Diana gotta go. There you go.
What does all of this have to do? I mean, when we get to the end of this episode, that's the key part here. Like, with everything that happened with Monet, what's next?
Yeah. Good girls always go for the bad guys. Lauren will be back. And I think
is Tariq a bad guy? Or is Kane the bad guy?
I mean, but don't start with Lauren and Kane, because I'm just not. My eyes are gonna start bleeding. But I will say this though. Anybody who's ever like been around folks who's been sheltered their entire life, and then they go to college, and then those folks be the wildest people on it, I think that's what's going to end up happening with Lauren. I think Lauren, who's been very much under the protection of her daughter, will try to seek some bit of independence, which is ultimately going to turn her into a different person, which I love that for Lauren, because like we haven't seen this character be nothing but just the dipsy girl that Tariq is attracted to, that clearly came from two different worlds. But what does a Lauren look like who isn't the Lauren we know? Like, what do we see? Do we see a sinister side of Lauren? Do we see Lauren slowly adapting to becoming something like Effie? Does she become an ally to Tariq, as Tariq and Brayden now looks around like who's on their side, and who will it be? Could it be Noma's daughter, who also just out there? You know, maybe she's not on the same page with her mother. Who knows? Lauren will be law enforcement is easily the safest answer here. and y'all know, y'all love this because y'all already know what y'all gonna say.
But how would she be? She don't trust law enforcement at this point, though.
No. She doesn't know that she doesn't trust law enforcement. She's been so gullible to everything that she doesn't realize that like she was being played the entire time, which should in fact make her despise law enforcement. But so the phone with Tariq number say will bring Lauren back. She's going to need Tariq's help to get out of trouble. We're also going to
she did just throw the burner in the trash can, like, and it's a flip burner, so it ain't like that motherfucking lock.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Tariq's number.
Yeah, it's not the same thing that Tasha did in her 3LW video, where she just threw her phone away and she said, "I know you're getting tired of my broken promises. So like you like it's
Oh man. Oh man, not Lauren being one of the 3LW girls. Is she the one that had the threesome with B2K? Like which 3LW girl?
I cannot
would
believe
Lauren
that
be
was
here?
I cannot believe that was a thing last week. Oh my, y'all talking about the leaks. Y'all missed the real news last week. No more. Maybe I'm gonna do right. Hey yo.
The point you remember more than one song from 3LW. Oh shit.
Yes, it was. Lauren was right there. Matter of fact, what was homegirl name? Because one girl was on The View. Then
That
was
was
Natari.
Kelly and Williams. That's the one who had the threesome because she was up there talking about it, Joe.
Yeah, and that's Effie's mother. That's the whole story here. Y'all just don't know.
That's
Long-term
Effie.
storytelling. Yep. and by that threesome, now she doesn't know who her father is.
Now, what happens if they do bring her on Power as Effie's mom?
Dog. Oh my God. Could you imagine that? Hey, no, real talk. Like, listen, yeah, I love Natari. And I'd be very clear that like her being on the last 2 episodes was absolutely the right thing to do. She can sing
Natari can sing. She had Queens. You know, back when she was in Woodsat, and then she started her group with Eve and Brandy.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Yeah, we know she can sing.
Damn,
She also played Little Kim for some odd reason in the movie.
That's right. Hey, did Queens get canceled?
Yes, it did.
Sad.
I think the moment Brandy started spitting bars, they was like, "Yep, no, it's not gonna work no more." Like Eve got pregnant, and they replaced Eve with Remy Ma. They was like, "Yeah, nah, this ain't gonna work."
Yeah, I was about to say, wait a minute, that's 702. Yeah, Queens was dope. I think Queens came out the gate strong. It actually did really good the first couple of episodes, but
yeah,
I think
it was right after Eve got pregnant and left. Then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, I cannot believe.
It was Eve's battle rap with Brandy. Her and Brandy did a battle rap on the show, and I think that was like, no, not B Rocka and Eve.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Like, there wasn't even a writer strike then, and the way how Eve just was like, so by the way, I'm not going to be on these last episodes, and make it very clear, and it just, it jackknifed the entire series just because she was like, nah, you're going to pretend like this character never even exists the way how she just left the show. It's sad, and that had to be consequential why the show definitely did not get renewed.
Oh yeah,
enough star power for at least get 2 seasons. I mean, there's that other guy.
They still asking for Star to come back with Brandy in it.
Me too.
Clearly,
me too. I need that too.
See what I mean? Never saw an episode.
Everybody, y'all watch Star, right? I know y'all like Star.
No.
Ryan Destiny's my girl.
But Lee Daniels needs to come up with his own power book.
No,
now, that would be a power book.
No,
and he get Juicy Smollett. If he did that and got Juicy Smollett to come back, I'm telling you, Joe. I'm telling you.
But I tell you,
Drew's new love interest.
Oh boy, I'm just gonna wait and see what comments gotta say about that. Yeah, let's see what they gotta say about that. Anyway, let's keep going. We still got some more stuff to cover tonight. So so Effie and Tariq. And now Effie's out of jail. And gives Tariq Noma's info. Noma's kid info. She's in NYU. They have her age, have her name and her address. And Effie wants to know, like, so what's next? And Tariq's like, so you've been out on your own. I'm sure you can build back up. And Effie's like, well, what about all that you've been talking about with our future and whatnot? He says, you think I can trust you after everything? But he's like, it's all good. And then Effie says, like, I'll find my way like I always do. I mean, was this the right decision for Tariq to just let Effie go? And like, ultimately, was this why he was bitten ass later by this?
True decision. Like, he was giving Effie nothing that she needed. I think it was a smart move by Effie.
Yeah.
To realize that, like, being around him is not going to do me any good.
Yeah.
And Tariq is still in his feelings about Effie.
Yeah. Yeah. I think yeah, I mean, I don't know. That
So I
just
think
showed
that,
that
and again, it was the others about Effie just walking away that way signify like, okay, it's not necessarily over, but this just feels like a mistake that he would allow her to walk away.
yeah.
But he's still in his feelings about, in all honesty, he's still in his feelings that she tried to kill Lauren.
Yeah. Now you're right, and I'm not saying that that Empire had bad writing. I had terrible editing.
You know,
That was always the issue.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
Lee Daniels is a good name, but I think when it comes down to the projects getting on the chopping blocks, Lee Daniels has made a lot of mistakes very badly when it comes to editing. What was that? The Butler, right?
Mm,
The Butler
yeah.
was a movie that I believe was 6 hours, I think it was supposed to be, and he
At
cut
one
that thing
point.
down to like an hour and something, and it's horribly bad editing. And I've seen the same traces of bad editing in every one of his projects where you just see things that you just be like, am I tripping or did I completely miss something? There's no continuity between things. But I
Yeah,
thought,
but we're not saying that like he's not a great director and producer and someone who can produce a good show.
yeah,
That's not at all what we're saying. And
yeah,
that the writing on his stuff is not necessarily always bad.
yeah.
So I'm definitely not saying
I just
that
think,
because I mean,
I think when it again, and when the stuff hits this table, when it comes down to like the final stamp of approval or the edit or the changes that he makes, I mean, it's something very consistent with this project that always comes down to bad editing for me. But
yeah, I mean
um,
he's an executive producer on one of my favorite shows on television right now, which is the Miss Pat show. So I mean, like he can clearly do the work and he clearly knows how to. But for Leon, who put on there, he's going to do Yaz's power book. You know, we're going to ban you the next time you do a comment like that, sir. Okay, just letting you know that, Nick. We're going to ban you for that. No,
no,
he is
see,
not in charge of Yaz's power book.
I believe I even made a comment like this years ago, as if like it was pedal to the metal the entire time, and right before the finish line, you just run out of gas. It's like,
Hold up. The Billie Holiday movie he did was amazing. That's it's when he does movies for studios that it just feels like, yep, we done. No more money.
yeah,
How we gonna end
yeah.
this movie? Cut some shit up. Done.
You could tell they brought back the original Power Riders for the second half of the season. For a second, it was given Power CW Network. I first of all, I love the Power Book 2 Ghost Riders. But
It wasn't the writers. It wasn't the writers. Okay, I know what he means by that. It was the to-be action scenes that did it. It wasn't the writers. That was the special effects budget that felt like
yeah,
CW.
yeah, that
And,
that
and we
first
got it here at
two.
the end of this episode when they were shooting, and I saw the little sparks of flashes. It reminded me of that. If it's a Tubi movie where the dude ran up on the dude, shot him, and then he ran away, but he fell. And the director basically said, "Nope, one take. We're gonna keep that."
Yeah, I ain't gonna talk about that scene where Tommy and Tasha and the cop came in and he shot him, and I was like, oh no, no. He's like, pew! He's like,
Look here, they
it's like,
spend all their budget on wardrobe. They don't have enough of special effects at this point, Joe.
yeah,
Everybody got on an $80,000 outfit instead of spending that on the best special effects humanly possible. But
yeah,
the writing is never an issue because it's so intricate, the things you have to do to pull off a power episode.
yeah,
So I'm never going to say it's the writing, but yeah, those special effects was looking real flashes
yeah.
at times this season.
We got a couple of more scenes to go. Then we're gonna talk about the season and all. We're gonna really engage you all. So let's get through some of this. But we got Braden and Tariq. Braden is talking about I think it's time for us to quit. We in too deep. We ruin people's lives, and I'm not made for that. And Braden basically quits the business. Diana steps on campus with Tariq, and I gotta get out. She won't, and Monet won't let her leave. And then Tariq talks about Monet sending Tommy after her mother. And we don't need a war between our families. If it but Diana insisted, well, what if it didn't start a war and it's time for Monet to go, which is everyone's favorite line. I'm asking for you to help me. He said, what about Kane? And can't Kane would never know. And Tariq
Yeah.
is suiting up and they get ready to put the plan in motion. So what is it going to be? So Diana and Monet as Monet is trying to apologize for raising Diana and all her kids as a soldier. And he says, I'm tough on y'all, especially you, because I love you and I'm sorry and I don't know how else to show you. Diana now sits back and says, hey, I think I left something in the house. Diana looked like she's ready to forgive. Let's just stop right there. I thought this was a really, really, really good scene because we know this entire season that Monet does not like Diana. She's just not been a good mother to her. I will say this.
That's true.
I think in perfect depiction of essentially a single mom raising her kids in the North. And I think like the Mary J. Blige of her and that toughness of her shows within Monet at times to show that she was cold to her kids. Where Kane, as we said, was always a soldier. We always say that Drew was the next one up. And we always say there was no place for Diana. With that, Diana was always Lorenzo's baby girl. It made sense that Diana would feel the burn of this more than anybody else. Kane is realized it too. Like, realize that you are just a soldier. We know there's one thing about soldiers. They're dispensable. So like when Kane started to realize like, oh, you just need me until you don't. Yes. In more ways than enough, you are a soldier to her. And Drew, who is the next one up, you know, to be the ruler of the family, his route is a little bit different, but we always know that it was always still going to be the conflict because every single time she wants Drew to be that next person, who's the first person to say this is her business, this is her family? Monet. There's another conflict arising of that too. So for this moment of her saying that was the most honest Monet has been this entire season. And I think that Diana, who probably wasn't looking for this, but who was giving this level of transparency, now started to tuck her tail between her legs and realizing like, oh shit, this plan that we got, I may have to go back on because maybe Monet is turning the page for the better. Maybe she wants to be more honest with us. But it was a very powerful and important moment before the next things happen. But I would love to throw it to you. This was your assessment of this. What's your thoughts about Monet and Diana here?
It felt like here that it was a second thought that was going off in Diana's head.
Yeah,
because it when you reaffirm a child, their reaction changes to everything. So this was her reaffirming to Diana how she viewed her, and that allowed Diana to see the thing through the prism, possibly a little bit of Monet, of everything that happened. This is why I did it. Like in the end, I'm still doing everything for you all, not for anyone else. That's why everybody else is expendable to Monet besides her children. And that's what this scene did here. And that's her trying to still get away from that situation. Granted, at the time, I didn't know she was trying to get away from the situation that her and Drew set up. But clearly she was trying to get away from that situation because she didn't want to be in that car at that time. She wanted Monet out the car too. Yeah. But then for that to happen and Monet to throw herself over top of her to make sure she was fine, I think that erased everything. I think Diana's always had the opinion that Monet could care less if she lived or died.
Yeah.
But here it proves that's not the case. Monet don't want anything to happen to her daughter. She may be tough on you, but she's tough on you for a reason.
Yeah.
And instead, you all focus just on Poppy and the things that Poppy allowed you to do and the freedom that Poppy gave you, but still not understanding. In the end, it's that mother's love that everyone craves. And that's the love Diana's been craving since the beginning of this power book is Monet's love.
Yep. I have a bunch of relatives from the North, and I think that there is an instinctual toughness with these women. So I very much resonate with Monet in this statement because you can tell that, like, you know, it wasn't never easy for her to just be Karen because the streets were tough. If you flower them, you know, and baby these folks, I mean, it's like taking a domesticated animal, putting it in your house, or vice versa. It just doesn't make sense. It's not going to work. And I think that Diana realizing that this is just an amazing scene. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I did love this. I did want to, I just want to make sure I read this comment that this did humanize Monet for a second. Yeah, I did 1,000% here, and
I mean, down to her being shot up, it humanizes Monet
for sure. So let me see where we at with this now. Oh, okay, cool. So then after that, so Diana, as you said, looked like she was getting ready to like revert back on the plans. She said, I think I left something in the house. Let's go back in, because she knew the drive-by was going to happen because it was supposed to be Tariq. However, a Nissan Murano drives up with a Uzi. First of all, listen, I ain't never ever seen a Murano be used as a drive-by car. I mean, this is easily the moment of using something stereotypical here. I mean, there's so many. A Ford Explorer was right there in her hand. Why not?
Damn it, she could have broke out an old MPV, but a Nissan Murano, like, come on, son. Who is driving by in a Nissan? Nissan doesn't make. Don't Nissan make a Pathfinder, right? That's a Nissan, is it?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't drive Nissans, but
a Zuzu Rodeo was right there waiting for them. Pull up.
A Subaru Outback is there. It's so many other things. So many other things, but this Nissan Murano. A Denali's right there. If you want a drive-by truck, it has to be a Denali. Like, everybody drives by and shoots you up in a Denali. But who in this ultimate cool hip soccer mom SUV decides I'm going to shoot you up in a Nissan Murano?
They are
nigga.
They are fast.
What?
They are fast.
They are not fast. They are not fast. They are Nissan fast. That's not real fast.
They are fast. Those 3.5 liter motors are fast.
Those cap out at 120. And
all-wheel
drive. They have the little I forget the jump that's on them Jones to make sure they never actually hit 120.
A governor.
So that jump cap out at that jump cap out at like 100.
Chill. This.
I'm gonna get this off and then we can go to who the hell has ever heard tires spin out on a Nissan Murano? Nobody. Them Jones do not spin out, Joe.
Chill.
Them Jones are sensible.
Yeah. It's not that Monet didn't love her kids. It's the streets is tough, and if your baby and your kids, you're basically not preparing them. And it's true. And I still do not think that Monet actually loved Diana in a way that we were able to visually see. She was super tough on her, and she definitely alienated her a lot. But it's a story, and it's a full circle story that I can still buy into because it makes sense. And I think this moment was everything that we needed it to happen, for it to be, and for it to happen in the way it did. But
it shows that a mother's love can be it can be misunderstood by so many people.
Yeah,
but it really is dependent on the environment that you raise your children in.
Exactly.
Like, and she raised them in an environment full of drugs and everything else. My love for you is to make sure that you're never so green that it ends up costing you your life.
Yeah. And also the duality in this is Tasha rolling up in a drive-by, and we're looking like, who is it? And it was like, oh, it's Tasha. Which one thing I thought that they were not going to show us who it was. As soon as I saw, I was like, oh, this is about to be a moment of like, who was it? But anyway, Kane comes out bussing. Tariq sees Tasha. Monet is shot a few times. Diana was saved there, and Kane is looking very lost at the moment. Listen, the episode would have broke the internet if Ghost was at the end. I have a theory that Ghost had a blood pack inside of his shirt, took a pill, stop. So basically,
damn,
Ghost bladed. In wrestling, that's blading. So you're basically saying that Ghost worked the angle for his death. Got it. They're going to do something.
That
whatever they do,
out like Hollywood Hogan at the end.
Nah, Ghost in the rafters like Sting the entire time, just looking over everything. They're gonna show a teaser for the next season of Power Book 2 Ghost, and they're gonna show a figure in the top of the Empire State Building just looking over.
All I would want to make my day And I don't even know if this man is still alive. And I hate that I don't know if he's alive. But I need Jim Ross to call Ghost
He's
coming back.
alive.
That's all I
He's with
need.
AEW.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I
they're gonna
need.
show.
Oh
They're
my
gonna.
God. Oh my God. It's Ghost. It's Ghost.
It's that son of a bitch. I thought he was dead. I can't believe he's back. No. Stone Cold.
Hey,
Stone
what was his
Cold.
joke with Vince's man when he's like, damn him to hell.
That sick son of a bitch. I can't believe he's still alive. I honestly think that they're going to cut a check. Listen, if 50 doesn't decide to co-sign for Power going forward, then Ghost is definitely the easiest saving grace of everything that they've built so far.
All I'll say is while he's doing press for another movie, he doesn't bring that up and word it that way unless it's something he's definitely going to do.
Considering.
And he's just letting them know, get the money to a place where I think it's reasonable and I'm going to do it. Because he ended it with, if the money's right, anything's possible.
Two things says that. Two things real quick. First of all, Brandon, we definitely have fun with our theories, and we definitely don't be really like here's the thing. I love you all's theories. I just don't like the folks who have theories and get mad because no one the fact that like their theory and they're thinking that that's the fact. We have like theories and we have fun with it, and they be off the rails because they all be off the rails, so we just all engaging in all the fun. But I just hate the fact that when folks have theories, like if you're in the Power Book groups and Facebook, they're ferocious. You have a theory and folks are just like, oh, fuck you. If you ain't agreeing with my theory, then fuck you. But like, no, and logically speaking, I think with Amari, his agent absolutely told him, like, listen, make a public declaration. If they cut the check, you're in. We have talked to Amari, and I'm going to tell you one thing. Amari does not want to talk about Ghost. He does not want to talk about Ghost. He's almost offended when folks bring up Ghost, and especially when you're talking about other projects. So when I saw that he was talking about the mother, and he was very open to talking about
Ghost,
it's absolutely a change in posture, complete change in posture. I'm trying to tell you.
The key part he said was, I told him I would think about coming back if the money was right and the story was right. He already told you by saying that, and the reason he rejected it because of the money, that however that story was formatted for him to come back, he thought that was the right way to bring the character back.
Yeah.
It's just that they didn't come up with the money yet for that to happen. And he's been very adamant that as the lead actor on a #1 show on the network, he was highly underpaid for 6 years.
Yeah.
So he ain't gonna take no shorts here. He's gonna want all his. As Jay-Z said, I'm gonna overcharge you for what you did to the Cold Crush. That's how Amari feels right now. Like, I'm gonna overcharge you all for what you did to me for them 6 seasons. If you ever want me to come back.
Yeah.
Damn it,
let's finish getting through everything, because I want to get to the end and open it up for you all. So Monet's in critical condition. Diana's sad. Did you see who did it? She blames Tariq. Tariq got to go. Kane says they have a flashback to the family drama when everybody stormed out of the house when Monet was like, everybody can fucking go. And then this is when we see Diana and Drew put the plan together and how Tariq was going to kill Monet, and then Kane killed Tariq. Then now Diana says, I don't know who the shooter was. Somebody messed up the plan, talking to Drew. Diana, now we see that Diana was the one to give the letter to Tommy's mom, and it was all Diana Drew who put this all together. Now we have Tasha and Tariq, and Tasha, like a mother, as you mentioned, made sure that she put herself in danger in order to keep Tariq's hand clean so he could go back to school. I know that sounds silly, but it also is very much the reality of what this mother and son relationship is outside of what Monet and Diana's relationship is. Like, these circumstances are different, but these are still mothers trying to protect their kids by any means, where she's saying, like, listen, I've been with this life this entire time. I see you. I know you may be or feel like you're smarter than your dad. Go back to school. Obviously, she's basically telling Tariq, you think you're the man, but you're far from it. Because while Ghost was many, many things that she said, he was not stupid. And when a mother, especially a black mom, those that inverted, she wasn't, you not stupid or I wasn't stupid thing is a complete declaration of take your ass back to school.
There you go. Yep.
But with that being said, Tasha wanted to know who Noma is. She has a lot of questions. And Tasha talk about there may be a way and talk about the vacuum now that Monet is shot and how to get close to Noma. And Tariq says he got this. And so yeah, we got that kind of going on here. And says, hold on, he says, and Tariq mentions about his trust being gone and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we have Junior and Paz shows up. Welcome back. And says, hey, you haven't been home in a while. I'm so proud that you followed Angela's footstep. This came in the mail from Saks, and it is a USB. Just hold on 1 second. We'll talk about that in a second. And lastly, we get everybody meeting up in the warehouse. Tariq comes in alone, and he has a proposition to work alongside of Noma. And then he brings up Noma's so Kane's there. First of all, they talk about Monet being shot, and there's different tales of that story. Kane shows up, then Tariq names drops Noma's daughter in Anya Covington and says, and then basically everybody reveals himself and that they're working alongside of Noma. And even Effie, who also tricked Tariq as well too.
That's when she reveals that she told Noma already that Tariq was going after her daughter.
Yep. And then Braden comes in.
I think it's Effie.
Yep. Braden comes in to save the day. Just to be clear, everybody, Kane is alive. Braden, who is the best trick shot expert of all time, shoots Kane's gun out of his hand. But really none of the main characters is hurt. But Obi was the one who called Braden to give him the tip because of the green card, so he did him a favor. And then we get Tariq and Braden driving off because they think the start of the war. So really quickly, I just want to recap all of the big things that happened this episode, from Tasha being the one who saved Tommy's life, but also knocked Tariq out. So they call it even. AVH concedes, so Tate wins the primary. Excuse me. Tate and Bennett had got engaged. Monet and Kane break into the Weston's home and takes the valuables, get the painting and get the watch and all that other stuff. They hit a lick. Monet puts a hit out on Effie in prison. Tariq goes to Tommy's mom house, Kate's house, looking for Tommy to kill Tommy. Noma and Monet. Noma puts Monet in charge of the New York City business and team. Noma also slashes Obi's eye across the face for stalling for Tariq. I should have mentioned earlier, but Lucas' death is being investigated as a suicide. So Braden's kind of clean with that. Bennett mad about Tariq, about Tate agreeing to Diana's charges being dropped with the Davis favor. Kiki is leaving for Ohio. Guess there's nothing else with that character. Lauren gets a chance to talk to Effie in prison, which was a big thing. Kane and Drew are the ones that threaten Lauren's parents and gets Lauren to recant. But also Lauren leaves with her, reunites with her parents, something she's always wanted, and she leaves. Braden temporarily quits the business. Tariq and Diana plots out to take out Monet. Diana sent the letter of Tasha's location to Kate's house, and then we have Diana and Drew who sets Tariq up to go down for Monet's attempted murder. Effie turns on Tariq. Effie tells Noma about the plan to use Noma's daughter for leverage. Not to mention earlier, Lauren did recant her story. Tariq tells Tasha that he lost the trust in the Ponzi. Agent Young, who is Paz's son and Angela's nephew, which, I mean, we all knew, but now we see that Paz is very proud that he followed Angela's footsteps. He does receive a flash drive. Braden saves Tariq's life by being killed from Kane, but also shoots Kane's gun out of his hand. And Obi was the one who tipped off Braden to prevent Tariq from being killed. So really quickly, folks, let's what happened to Tate's brother? He's still a cop.
He's still a police officer. Yeah,
he's just not on the level of what they need right now. So, folks, really quickly, we're going to get into the comments here and start talking about the season. We're going to give about 15-20 minutes of this, then we're going to wrap it up. Overall, y'all let us know y'all thoughts about this season. whatever questions that you all have, please let us know. We're only going to go about 15 minutes. If you do put in the super chat, we'll make sure your question get read. Ask us any question you got. We'll get those answered. And we're going to start off by the first question that I have. You all can get into the comments with this. And Lucas, I'll throw it to you. What do you think is on the USB?
Oh, Tariq's confession. Remember, Sachs recorded it, and he couldn't use it, but he still has it. And it was probably the last piece of an insurance policy for him to ever use was that confession that he had of Tariq. So the moment I saw the flash drive, I said, okay, I know what that is, because it's the last thing that he had, and it's the thing he couldn't use because it's, you know, he legally recorded it. He legally gained that evidence. He couldn't use it at all. Yeah. But if he passes it on, I think some of those legalities go away, because that police officer would not know what Sachs did and how Sachs got that information.
Or it doesn't even matter if he can use it, but it does create sort of, it puts attention on Tariq now. And I mean, like, you have something you can be like, okay, this is clearly a bad person, no matter if I can use this or not, but it's definitely like, huh. And maybe, I mean, I think you have absolutely the most safest and probably most reasonable answer here, but to go off the rails a little bit, I think it going to him, I think is going to be a case file on all of the St. Patrick stuff. And I think it start to make him basically channel the hatred that Sachs, Blanca, Knox, all of the cops have always had a hard on for the St. Patricks. I think he just built a complete elaborate case file of sorts of just saying, here's why you shouldn't like this guy. By the way, your mom was killed because of this family. Your aunt was killed because of this family. Your mom was almost killed because of this family, you know, and so on. I think that's what's going to end up happening. And I also think that there could be some stuff with Davis on there as well, too.
Could be. So I just automatically assumed that that's what it was. The moment I saw the flash drive, I said, oh, okay, I kind of know where this is going.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get some questions in there real quick. Anybody got any questions for us? I see some comments. I think there might be a recording of Angela talking with Mike in her apartment when Mike said her name came up during a conversation with Lobos. I know what you're talking about here, but I gotta think about that for me. I know exactly what you're talking about. What happened to Sachs' niece who knew everything? Because Brett, I mean, I think
she drugged what you call it, and then that was it.
Yeah, she went to another school and she decided there. But I mean, like, this is a character that could return to some extent. I mean, could cause some conflict for Braden going forward. But I mean, like, I think she served her minimum purpose. And once she was basically given the nice Holly exit of somebody who wanted to be so involved with the business, but obviously too close for comfort, I think she just was dismissed, and then that's it. But you know, the obviously potential to bring her back.
Yeah.
I am sick of the same story about policemen. I mean,
I hate Monica, I hate to tell you this, but Tariq's a drug dealer. I think all the time, if we're gonna get police people trying to get after him, there's just no way around it at this point.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Sachs working from the grave, doing the ghost actions, and certainly enough. I tell you what, though, the lawyer that's in charge of Ghost's trust, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with.
I mean, he done, because then Tariq sold the trust.
Yeah,
his portion of the trust.
Yeah. Wonder what RSJ involvement is going to be coming back too, since he's just out of the country. There's no way they brought season. That. Yeah, there's no way they bring a character like that strong in, and he's just done. Do you all think that Noma will find out what Obi did? 1,000%. 1,000% that.
Sure. Yep.
And we said it earlier. Like, you have to understand that Mecca was working for Noma, and for all the resources that Mecca had, and he wasn't the top person on the totem pole, it would make no sense for Noma to be even more resourceful across the world than Mecca. So as Mecca knew everything that was happening around him.
Sure did.
1,000% Noma's already knows what Obi's doing, and I think she's just trying to see how far this plays out.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see if Obi falls back in line before it's too late.
Say I'm tired of one police person going over the.
So Noma will let Monet.
Oh.
So Noma will let Monet killing Mecca slide. Yeah, business is more important than pleasure here.
Yeah.
Effie is stand up. Thank you, because that's the last one we haven't seen today. Thank you. That's all of them now.
It's clearly the last one. We've completed the trifecta.
Everyone gets a goddamn letter. You're damn right. Well, y'all surprised that Junior got the letter? Definitely was like, huh. That felt like a end of a horror movie that he got a cryptic letter. It felt like Saw.
I don't know if she cares about her Uncle Nancy that much. His whole family didn't care. They just completely got rid of him.
Yeah. What about Sack's family? How come they didn't identify him? Because I think because it was an investigation, possibly. It's definitely powerism, but
I'm about to say that's not the reason why. It would be his family. They would have to identify his body. But it's powerisms. So yeah. That should tell you that his niece is not coming back.
Do you think any letters was faked by Drew and Diana? I don't know, but I will say that, like, understanding that Monet absolutely was not involved with the Kate thing, and Monet definitely still valuing Tariq as almost like a son. I think it's going to be interesting how Monet responds to Diana and Drew going out on the limb and delivering that letter in the way they did. As Monet said, like, I have nothing to do with that. So there's definitely going to be some interesting dynamics between them and Diana and Drew and their involvement with this. But could they have faked any? Definitely not the Junior, but
it was too much information in those letters that they wouldn't have had. But I do think that, well, we know for a fact, I'm going to say the letter that they took to Kate was sent to Monet for that purpose.
Yeah.
They just intercepted the letter and gave it to Kate. I don't think they physically faked any of the letters. That wouldn't make sense, because how would they have that information?
Right. Do you think the Noma's going to regret not having Tariq on her side? She shouldn't. Yeah, she shouldn't by hierarchy alone, but like she shouldn't. That's not what I'm saying. I'm tired of the one police person going over the top. Police will always come, but not the one I mean, so my comment to that was like, we're always gonna, it's power. We're always gonna have that obsessed cop, as we talked about in previous episodes. Y'all name y'all top 5 most obsessed, most annoying, most overly dedicated cops that are on all of these shows, and like every show has one. Everyone's show has one. And I remember I mentioned, I said, what about, does Force have one? And we said we didn't know. Then we forgot. What about the black cop that with his sister, the one who just kept showing up? It's like, where did they
think about it? For this season, what one cop?
What?
Which one cop?
Jenny.
Cop.
I mean, law enforcement, nonetheless. I mean,
but it wasn't one of them. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, so it's for the whole Rico
Knox
team.
Thing. Yeah. This was a setup for Rico against him.
Yeah. Do you think Paul's son is really Ghost and Angela's son? No.
People wanted to be so bad. But when would they have had a kid?
And Ghost would have known, and he would have got a trust. Now, I tell you, if he had got a letter from Ghost, that would be a whole different story here.
Not only that, the first season of Power is the Angela and Ghost reconnecting.
Yeah.
After years being apart. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me that we went 6 seasons and she never told him she had a kid?
Right.
Even when he left his wife for her and the kids. We all remember the dinner that Angela threw for the kids, and and Tariq was highly disrespectful.
Also, Angela makes a shit ton of money. She was definitely living in a single bedroom apartment. That kid would have definitely been in there somewhere. Which one of Monet's kids do you think will die next season? I think we have to have.
We agree with the same one here.
I think it has to be. I don't want it to be, but I think it has to be Drew.
Thank you. Yeah, I was about to say that would be the one. It's
Yeah,
not going to be Diana. I'm letting you know, and it's definitely not Kane.
yeah,
If one of them died, it would be Drew.
yeah. I think that's the one that impacts the family the most. And I think it also sets up a more interesting storytelling in terms of what happens next for the family. I think Kane dying does nothing.
Nothing.
Obviously, it's a big impact to whatever's happening in the story. But I think when you think about what's next for the Tejada family, think Kane dying just is kind of like, oh well, Drew and Diana kind of wanted that anyway, so I guess
And it would have, and Diana can't go.
Tariq
She's
is
the
going to
manipulator.
align. Tariq's going to align with Obi and RSJ next season. Could be, could be,
I think I
could
giving
be.
Obi way too much credit. That's the problem.
I think everybody's suspicious that Obi is a lot more than just a soldier, and I can sign up for that. I mean, I love the character so far. Do you think Sack somehow recorded Tommy's confession of him killing Junior's aunt Angela, and when he was attacked by Ghost and Tommy?
Here's the thing. They think Tommy's dead. What good would
Yeah,
that have done?
yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
it wouldn't be on the recording that Junior gets. The recording Junior gets has to be something. In all honesty, I hate to say it again, it has to be something to use against Tariq.
Mm-hmm.
No
Yeah,
one else, because that's who Sax is going after is Tariq.
yeah, yeah. 5 more minutes on comments tonight. Obi may need to hide his family. Absolutely. What if Junior is Angela and Ghost's son, and her dad sent her to the kid? Stay tuned for season 4 crossover. What if Braden hit Drew in a shootout? I don't think. I mean, none of the kids were hurt. I watched that scene a couple of
Where do you
times.
all get that Braden is magically able to shoot? And I know a comment earlier said that, of course, Braden know how to shoot because his family goes hunting. Shooting a rifle and shooting a handgun are literally nothing of the same. Besides both having triggers, it's a completely different skill set.
Who is Tariq going to take out first?
Drew,
I think he's going to try to reconcile. To be honest,
no, no, not a chance in hell.
I mean, he's not going to take out Diana. And
He wants to kill. He wants to kill Diana first. That's the first person he wants to die is Diana. But he would
yeah,
end up taking out Drew first, because I do believe Drew would be the person out of this new team up that will be the person who falls. So if the first person I'm seeing him taking out is Drew.
okay. Do you believe that that the Tejadas will find out Tasha was the shooter? No, nope,
How would
nope,
they?
nope,
I mean,
nope.
why would Tasha have a Nissan Murano, and why would she be shooting at the people outside of Nissan? At that point, it's a Nissan Murano. I would think it's Jenny first.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they could probably think that Tasha's dead because they sent Tommy to kill her. So, um, I think the way Noma keeps asking what happened to to Mecca, and with what she said about feeling vulnerable, finding out about
Mhm.
Monet and Zeke, I think she'll definitely care when she finds out Monique. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. It's not. We'll see.
It's not a
It will make no sense for them to build another strong woman character just for her to be emotional about something when she's considered the boss. I'm not saying that she won't have any feelings, but I don't think it'll be in in the eye of like jeopardizing the business relationship that she has.
yeah. That would be the problem.
Yeah. So, but
That would be the biggest issue.
but I do think she could use it against her at times and kind of reminding her,
Mhm.
like, what you did, and don't forget what I can do you. But I mean, I think they had their moment of saying like, I'm sorry for your loss, and like, okay, cool, back to business. So nothing about that made it emotional. Hell, has Noma even shown emotion at all? Probably not.
No,
Sass was one of those characters you wanted to see dead, but when it finally happened, you were just like, damn, he's really dead. I never wanted to see him dead, just so y'all know.
Speak for yourself, Juice. I've been waiting for Sax to die for 5 years, and it was so
Terrible.
fulfilling. I'm perfectly fine with them being dead.
I think Monet already heard Diana and played the car on Diana to save her life, but I think she still hates Diana. Dirty Ball Sats gave Jenny some loving before the end of his life. Hey, by the way, y'all need to look at Shane Johnson's Instagram. The way how he voiced over the real letter that he gave Jenny is the funniest thing ever. Y'all got to check that out. It is hilarious. It is hilarious.
Oh man.
How did Sats know WJ?
Who's WJ?
Who's WJ? WJ.
I'm trying to figure out those initials. Kelly G, let us know who is WJ. I'm sorry, I can't remember who WJ is, or anybody who these initials mean something.
Let me just look down and see if they commented again. Who is WJ? Let me know if you see that comment. I'm not sure who WJ is. What about the one Monet saying?
Make sense? Oh, he actually had another comment that was interesting. I don't see how though. What doesn't make sense is
what about the one on Monet saying Tariq
and sent letters?
What about the one to Monet saying Tariq set Diana up?
That was from Sax.
Yeah. Why did Monet or Tariq say that Mecca was? Why didn't?
Because she knew Mecca was an informant.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one knows Mecca was an informant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a secret.
How did Sax know when to send a letter? It was a trigger. Yeah. It's a trigger if something happens. I mean, I don't know how that works because I'm still alive, but I know like that's a thing that people do.
I'm not gonna say, but let's just say you can set up stuff to come out if in your untimely death something happens.
Yeah. I think the letter that was given to Kate was the same letter that Monet read.
Which one? The one about Tariq? Because the one Monet read was the one about Tariq setting up Diana. Yeah. But I do believe that Monet was given she would have had to be given more than one letter.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap up in a second. So I'm gonna look for the best comments really quick. Any theories on how it will be discovered that Diana delivered the letter? Okay, I like this one. I
Kate's ring camera is gonna come into play.
Yeah, and I also think that like Kate, who's always in some form intoxicated, will also have to either. I think there will be a moment where she either has to see Monet and realize that wasn't her.
I know how.
Okay,
I know how. I just thought about it. Monet was shot. Monet's in the hospital. Somehow Tariq is going to go back to Kate for something or a way to get in touch with Tommy. And he's going to bring up Monet's name and as the person who delivered the letter. Something's going to come across a television or something and it's going to show the picture of Monet and she's going to say, that's not the person who delivered the letter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to see a picture of Monet around Tariq and say, that's not the person who delivered the letter. Yep. And that will let Tariq know it was Diana.
Yep, 1,000% too, that Tariq is definitely going to see Monet in the hospital. He will find his moment to go in there and find out, and he will start connecting the dots in terms of what happened. Because Monet was very adamant that she had nothing to do with that. And then he's going to get suspicious as to like, well, if you didn't do it, then who did? And then goes back to Kate and says, well, Monet said she didn't do it. Are you sure it was her? And then we're going to have one of those like, I don't know. She was black and, you know, she had long hair. So I guess.
And she's going to see a picture and say, oh, no, the person who dropped the letter was much younger than this. Yeah. And that's going to let him know it was Diana.
Yep. You see any other comments you want to read before we get done? The whole 6th season of Powers was 6 months time span. There's no way.
What?
There's no way because
my guy,
Baby Yaz was Tariq, a Baby Yaz.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Like
Tariq aged. Nah, it wouldn't 6 years. It went 6 months.
What? Don't sleep on RJ. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's happening with him. Getting down to these comments real quick.
Oh, here you
Kane
go.
was smarter this season, but still let Reek hate get in the way. Absolutely, and not Tariq's hate. His obsessiveness with Tariq and envy for Tariq is what got him in the way. Kane was definitely
Alpha
pussy with.
Aquarius. Alpha
Uh,
Aquarius question.
are
That's a
you
good one.
are you able to star comments on your end?
I don't know what that means.
If you go over to
No,
the comments, does it say? All right, give me 1 second.
no.
I'll read it. Do you think Monet heard Diana's plan and said that to Diana because that was her? I mean, it could be a theory, but also I hope not. I hope she was just genuinely getting it off her chest because I think Monet just had a lot, but also let's not forget that that Monet needs her kids and to leverage the trust with the kids because she still has to move the product. Being her boss ain't probably just enough. She needs to establish the trust to make sure that they fall in line. So, a power play.
Yep.
By the way, speaking of power play, it was interesting about Tariq talking about what power meant to him. And when he was
Yeah.
talking about what Noma was doing, and then he needs that type of power and whatnot. And then Tasha was like, see, Ghost tried to do that, didn't work out for him. Well, I'm smarter than Ghost. See, one thing is he wasn't stupid though. Where's the comment you was talking about? I want to read that.
Alpha Aquarius.
Alpha Aquarius.
She got last question. How will
Okay.
Kane react to finding out? There you go.
How will Kane react to find out that
That's a hell
he's
of
gonna
a because
exactly he's gonna feel even more alienated than he ever had. I mean, one, he's always felt very loyal to his mother, but he still has some falling outs in terms of him. She using him as a soldier, but I think this one's gonna hurt because, well, if there's one thing Kane's been honest about, it's everything with his brother and sister. Everything. When they had those meetings at the penthouse, they were laying it out. And why would he all of a sudden just be left in the dark? It's what I'm going to imagine is a problem
and
with him. Feeling
that will be
betrayed.
his question because it's the same thing he asked Monet when Lorenzo died. If you're willing to kill him, how would I know you're not willing to kill me? If he finds out what they did and they're leaving him in the dark, his question is going to be, are you leaving me in the dark to shoot at me next?
Yeah. Capri, this is exactly what I've been saying. Like the one thing Power has done across the board very well, especially with their writing crew, is that they write strong women characters who aren't looking for saviors or white knights. Like they're very much composed. They're leaders. They run organizations. They're the anchors of their family. Everyone has a level of emotion, but like they don't write these very typical, oh, it's a girl or woman who's just so in love and that's all they can think about.
Why do we keep talking about women being emotional?
Because
Because
everybody in the
women are
comments keep
emotional.
saying, well, no.
But
She's
no. But are you talking about it in the sense? And when I say women are emotional, keep in mind we're talking about the women as it pertains to this show. So
no,
when you talk about the women as it pertains to this show, all of them are emotional because all of them are younger.
no. She's asking about, and you can let me know if I'm speaking incorrectly for you here, but she's asking about why do everybody keep thinking that these characters are compromised because of their emotions? That's what she keeps saying. Like, why you keep saying like, oh, Noma's gonna just all of a sudden start fucking up because she loves Mecca so much, and I'm like,
Yeah. No, I see. I only do the emotional aspect when it comes to the young women because young women are emotional, and we've seen that throughout this entire thing with all of them. But the older women are never emotional. It's plotted everything they do.
I need Terry Silver to come back. That was like some of the funniest times in Power. Terry really out here thought he had a chance. That was so funny. Uh ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
You ain't watching enough TV. Power does not have the worst moms in TV history, sir.
What shows got worse mothers?
Desperate Housewives. All them white women were looking for anything but children. Come on.
Oh man. Listen, man, we're gonna wrap up for the night. We extremely appreciate everybody coming through tonight. We
It is
we
4
knocked out
o'clock in the
a
morning.
bet. It is.
It is
It
4
is.
o'clock
It's
in the morning.
late.
I have to be up in 45 minutes.
It is. It's late, folks. It's late. We love everybody. Yeah, I agree with you, Lucas. About what Desperate Housewives? That's wild. Yeah, so
I think you agree
we
with me about the young women.
yeah.
So
How
can we clearly
was it
say
able to
no?
pull?
Because we don't know. It's a relationship we don't have enough information about yet.
Yeah, because Kate is the only one that truly doesn't want their kids to be something that they're not. That's just what it is. She knew who
Yeah.
Tommy was the entire time, and she's like,
Yep.
"Yeah, that's my son, and that's what it's going to be." Even though she completely lied about him having a brother and tried to just completely negate that whole part of that life by way of force. Force is when we really recognize that Kate is definitely problematic.
It's a
So
piece of shit. Yeah, buddy.
yeah, we appreciate effort, man. You the man. We appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's time to roll out, folks. We definitely appreciate everybody hanging with us
Just
tonight,
took
working through
my
our
Taco
technical
Bell out
issues.
and finish me split.
I'm not, no way, no way. Listen, we appreciate everybody coming through tonight,
Oh,
hanging out
man.
with us tonight live. Y'all still can hit us up in the comments. Let us know your thoughts about the finale. Let us know your thoughts about season 3. Let us know your predictions about season 4. Let us know other shows you may be interested in us covering, as we're not back for another power show until September. Yeah, we do got some other projects coming down the line, but like if there is something else that you all may be interested in, let us know.
Anything not produced by Mona Scott. Nothing produced by Mona Scott.
Until next time, folks. Thank y'all so much for checking this out. Thank you so much for the super chats tonight. Thank you so much for the comments, the love. Everyone staying up for all the technical issues we had in the beginning, but we got it right. We got it going. We'll see y'all back.
Did 3 hours.
Still did
3 hours.
We'll see y'all back. We see y'all back very soon, y'all. Thank y'all.